Hi and good morning and welcome to Yali Abuja January 2026 face to face. We're just getting started right now. We have people seated already. We'll be eating things around very soon. Just stay back, relax. We'll be right back. Okay, thank you for waiting. We'll be starting the face to face activities very soon. We're starting live. I want you to share the link so people can also join us for the live.
One, two, one, two. Good morning and welcome, young leaders. We are all pretty early. We're starting right away, so if you could please move forward to fill the seats in front of you. I know you moved this step, you're okay there, you're good there, but if you want, you can still fill these places, all right? So that those that are coming late can sit at the back. We want the early comers to be in front, all right? So please move forward, move forward. Thank you, sir. If you could please, you're wonderfully dressed. Please come this way so that you want to sit there. Sir, please move forward. There's a seat here for you, sir. Thank you very much. They will definitely start from the front. I'll tell them. All right, those at the back, I think we still have vacant seats here, right? Yes, please come forward. You got here before me. Please come this way. Uh, the first row, the first row is reserved for our special guests, especially this side, but I can give you my seat right here. There are two spaces here too. All right, thank you very much. Okay, good morning and welcome once again, young leaders. Last Saturday, we were at the Karamanjidi ITP camp to celebrate the International Day of Education with the children there. So this is not our first meeting for the year, but this is our first Yali Network Abuja face-to-face meeting. Put your hands together for yourselves while we're still settling down. Put your hands together for yourselves. All right. You could have chosen to be anywhere else today, but you chose to be here, and we really, really appreciate that. All right. Maybe you wanted to meet with our leaders that will be steering the ship of Yali Network Abuja for the first time, or perhaps you understand the impact that we collectively make to transform our nation and transform the world, or you saw the lineup of our quality speakers and decided to show up to learn from them, to ask them questions, to get direction based on the theme for the month. Put your hands together for yourselves once more. Put your hands together for yourself. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, all right. You can see me clearly over there too. Hi, everyone joining us online. You're also welcome. Thank you so much for joining this meeting. All right. We'll be taking the national anthem right away, so please let us rise up on our feet as we take the national anthem. Media, if you could please help us with the national anthem. Thank you. On your native land, oh, treasure to many from the womb. Nigeria's own, I'm proud to send our sovereign Okay, I vividly heard some people singing the national anthem from the beginning to the end. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. A round of applause for yourselves. Thank you very much. As young African leaders, please let's endeavor. I'm challenging myself as well that in our next yearly face-to-face meeting in February, we'll be all singing the national anthem without the media playing it. Agreed? Agreed? Awesome. All right. That's a good challenge. Okay, so self-governance, the missing link between goal setting and goal achievement. That's what we're here to discuss today. And like I mentioned earlier, we have a lineup of quality special guests that will be dissecting this topic. And if you are in the main group, the main Yali membership group, you would have seen that today there is a slight change to our usual sessions. All right, and as time goes on, we'll get to see what the Yali membership, Yali leadership rather, has for us. All right, good morning and welcome once again. We'll be introducing ourselves one after the other, starting from my left here. Okay, so one after the other, please tell us your name, what you do, and just anything you feel like. Share something. Okay, your name, what
Thank you very much. My name is Collins Scott Bano. I'm a trainer, business consultant, trainings. Um, something interesting about it. That's really it. I like to. I don't know if it's interesting.
wonderful. Then you must be managing yourself very well because it's not showing. You will tell us your secrets very soon. Thank you very much, sir. It's nice meeting you, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm Josephine Opatari. I'm an external auditor. Interesting thing about me, I don't speak English.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Azubike. I'm a researcher and a digital curator. The interesting thing about me, well, I love seeing people express their gifts. I don't know if that's interesting.
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting. He enjoys seeing people express their gifts, right? And yeah, that's one of the reasons we're gathered here to develop potential. Okay, seems to be busy. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Frank Dedigwe, and I'm into ICT. We develop websites, mobile app, and also digital marketing. And one thing interesting about me, I like to learn.
He likes to learn. Thank you very much. When I saw you with the laptop, I knew you must be in ICT.
Good morning. My name is Sani. I'm a researcher. I think my the most interesting thing about me is I'm always punctual. Punctual is my tradition, is my food. So I see punctuality as just a piece of sustenance for me. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sani. Who's okay? Hello, man.
My name is Kali Vesalau. I'm a communications officer, school communications officer. And what interesting about me is I love Gary.
Somebody said Jesus. If that is a staple food here now, so you shouldn't be surprised. All right, over to you, sir.
Hello everyone, my name is Adeduyi Ateku. I'm a graphic designer and the center of research. What interesting thing about me? Well, I think this is my favorite food. Beans.
Thank you very much. Yes, and that'll be a very nice combination. All right, Yali. That is cold. Yali. Yali. We are back. All right, so energy. All right, starting from you, ma'am. Your introduction.
My name is Scott Moses. I'm a medical doctor. I love many new things.
Of many new things. You say good news?
God knows.
God knows. Okay.
Hello everyone. My name is Princess Obianjibiro. I'm a public speaker and the founder and president of the Senior Leadership Academy. One interesting thing about me, I travel a lot and I like to take risks.
She travels a lot and she likes to take risks.
So as you can see, the face to face is going on. If you have any question, you can drop it on the comment section.
It's okay. Maybe you'll discover that in the course of the program. Right? Awesome.
Good morning everyone. My name is Omar Sunday. I work with Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council as an administrative officer. We do assess book and develop curriculum and research in education. One of the interesting things about me is that I don't like to drink water. I just drink because I have to drink. I don't like it at all.
Wonderful. That's the first. That is definitely that is definitely interesting, right? This is I want to capture her very well. What's that? Wow, okay, okay. It's okay, it's okay. Yali! Yali! Moving on, alright.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vera Abuja. I'm a communications professional and a writer. First thing to know about me, I'll just generally curious.
She's single. No.
Oh, yes, that's something we should have added, but we'll skip that for the next impact meeting, the next face to face meeting. Alright, over to you, sir. Then you please ask my team. Thank
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a lot of things. First, I'm a fashion designer, an interior designer, and aeronologist. We study research. I'm a writer, but in
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimish Koruchi. I'm a lawyer and an arbitrator. One interesting thing about me is I love chess.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Glory Sebastian. Just as I said, I'm a lot. I'm a program lead at Today's for Tomorrow's Initiative, and I'm also a grant writer. And one fun fact or interesting thing about me is that I eat a lot of good food, but I'm sure my body.
Because it's good food.
Because it's good.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kubiat Samuel. I am a baker. I'm a virtual assistant. One interesting thing about me, I love cooking and I'm single. Thank you.
Very interesting. I know that one. I know. If you see.
All right. So the beautiful thing about this kind of introduction is that you could literally get a business partner here. All right. So I hope a life partner for those that are single. Selector, you're not single anymore, but thank you for throwing that out there. Okay. All right. Hold on. Before we move on to the next person, Mr. Emmanuel has something to add to his list of interest.
Yeah, I'm also a sports developer. I work in the area of football, grassroots football.
All right. Thank you very much. So you're welcome, sir. All right. Over to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Atubano. I'm a filmmaker and a serious tech guy. And interesting thing about me, I play Scrabble.
Wow. Love this Scrabble all the time. So there's somebody here that loves chess too. Yeah. So is anybody here that's not introduced? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Your introduction. So it's basically your name, what you do, and one interesting thing about it.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Cecilia Omini, and still a student. Going to the tertiary education. One interesting thing about me is I really love singing. That's all. Sing goes the song.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes, we still have some people that have not introduced themselves, but in the course of the program, we'll come back to it. All right, I see you. Don't worry. We have a special guest in the house already, and we're moving on with speed. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, young African leaders, for being here this morning. At this moment, I want to welcome our leader who will be steering the Yali Abuja ship for the entire duration of the year 2026. If you followed our event last year, you would know that he's a person of capacity, a person of impact. He rarely missed any of our meetings. So join me, welcome our wonderful coordinator of this committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cedric. This once again a round of applause for yourselves. If it permits me to, at this point, use this opportunity to tell everyone, quite physically, Happy New Year. And I would also like you to turn around to your right and your left and tell the person seated close to you, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah, that's because this is the first time, this is the first yearly gathering for the year. The first event we did was more of an outreach on the International Day of Education, where we went to the IDP camp and we just very few because the publicity was a bit on a low level. So it's very, very happy that I'm seeing everyone smiling and I'm not seeing anyone frowning. It's very, very interesting. It's my pleasure to meet you again. And I want to assure you that this year we'll be going on a ride of successes from one success to the other. And of course, like I had always said during the campaign period, we are all concerned about the people and everything we'll be doing will be much more focused on self-development and ensuring that we strengthen systems and of course community impact. For today, we'll be speaking about something very important. But before I go into give an hint about what we'll be speaking about, I would like to tell you a story of a certain boy who in his diary is always crying on every 1st of January as far as the world is concerned. Right from the day the boy turned 17 and 18. And of course, read his first book like Let's Guess, he read quotes like Grand Dressing. Right from that day, every 1st January, his diary would be crying. Because he would wake up on 1st January, pick up his diary and start writing very enormous goals for a year. And then the next January, he gets up again and picks the diary to add more goals to goals that he or she did not achieve. And then the next January, he goes to write another goals. And 1st January 2026, the young man went again, carried the diary. And this time around, the diary cried. Why are you still writing when you've not achieved the things that you had written 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? And so we have a major problem in our society. Just check Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, from like 31st of December every year, you see a lot of flyers that's talking about goal setting, a lot of flyers that's talking about goal setting board, and all sort of things to prepare us for the year. But at the end of that very year, people do not execute their plans. So we would have simply just packed this year's face-to-face execution board, but we wanted it to come in detail so that we could look at how personal leadership affects our inability to meet with our goals, and of course how self-governance affects this. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sit tight and trust me, you won't leave this hall the same way you entered. I can vouch for that. You won't leave this hall the same way you entered. Before I hand over this mic, I have two responsibilities to do. First is to introduce the executives, the current executives, and I would like to skip that because of time and do it at the end of the session. Or okay, let's do it now. Okay, let's do it at the end of everything. We'll introduce the new executives. I know you might have seen them on the flyer, or you may not have been part of the elections, or you are not joining us for the first time. So when we are done, I will introduce all of them. And I will not leave this place without specially recognizing a man I looked up to while growing up. A man that I cannot complete the story of my life without mentioning his name at least 4 or 5 times. A man that during the manifesto December, I mentioned his name like 3 times because people kept asking me who is your role model, who is your mentor, who can we hold you if you disappoint us. And I kept mentioning his name again and again and again. This man has had a very huge impact on my life and in the life of so many other youths in Akwa Ibom State. He's no other person than the former Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly and the former Federal House member who represented me effectively for 4 years. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, your hands are not too busy. Let's celebrate no other than my mentor, my role model, and of course my father, Right Honorable Barrister. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Honorable invite. As a matter of fact, few weeks to contest the election, I didn't want to discuss it. I had to call in the executive assistant and ask for permission. The reason is so that when he sees my flyer, he will not say, "Beauty, you've started again. You've started again." And so after the election, he's one of the first person I reached out to say, "Please, I've won election and I would like you to come and discuss with my people." And I'm very, very honored to have you here. Thank you so much, sir. At this point, please, I'll hand over the mic to the moderator to continue with the rest of the event. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to our coordinator. Please, a round of applause for him once more. Wonderful. Okay, so we will continue from where we stopped. There are a few people that are yet to introduce themselves, and then please make it very quick, very brief, all right? If you're yet to introduce yourself, right? So please, we'll pass the mic like this. I saw the people that just came in, your name, what you do, and something interesting about you, very briefly. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Destiny. I'm a pharmacist. I'm not interested in about it. I'm not saying
Good morning, everyone. I'm Comfort Anyanwu. I'm a corporate lawyer. I'm an entrepreneur in Agric, and I run an organization for children, providing them relief and comfort in educational needs.
All right, thank you very much. You're yet to introduce yourself as well.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucky, and I'm a marketing designer. I also run a publishing house as well.
Great, a round of applause for him. All right. Before we go to the next person over there.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ajo Augustine Chwebuka. I am into real estate, and I also sell agro products, rice, beans, dairy, and others. And one interesting thing about me is I am a diehard Chelsea fan. Sorry for that. Thank you.
No apologies necessary. I'll come up to you, sir. Okay, over to you very quickly.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chelsea. And,
Wow.
Where is everyone? I was just laughing. Um, I'm a nutritionist and I'm venturing into project management. And one interesting thing about me is I'm very curious and I love stories. Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Chelsea. Okay, over to you, sir.
Hello everyone, my name is Ali Ibrahim. I'm an engineer, public servant, and introducing about me is I earn a living by criticizing others.
You earn a living by what? Criticizing others. You're a journalist, maybe. No. Okay, who is here to introduce them? We have some. Okay, so we'll stop there for now. Okay, all right. So, in the next on the agenda, I'll be calling somebody from this side or anybody from this side that can name 5 of the people that introduce themselves. If you can name 5 of them, there is a prize for you at the end of the program. Who wants to go for it? Huh? No, sorry, I forgot to mention one rule. So I know some people here. Yeah, you've been. All right. My apologies. I've missed out our online audience for the few minutes that I've been speaking now. Everyone joining us online, thank you very much. You are well represented, and please drop some messages in the comments. Cheer us on. I'll try to look this way every now and then so that I'll speak to you directly. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So, all right. Okay. Moving on now. Just very quickly, one person to volunteer. The old members, especially the executives from last year, you cannot join in this one. Sorry, I know you know a lot of people here already, so you just call those people that you know. Somebody, okay, use 5 persons. Just you have to point to them, not just call their names. No,
Lucky, Samuel, Chelsea.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, Chelsea over there.
Okay.
Lucky, Samuel, then Nancy and Princess.
Who is Princess over here? Princess is inside here. Okay, so I'll keep my present for myself for now while we move on right ahead. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for yourselves. Thank you for reminding me. A round of applause for yourselves. Is that the best? Yali! 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 All right, thank you very much. So, at this junction, I would like to, growing up around someone that worked in the Delta State House of Assembly, I always heard people say most distinguished, and I never really understood what it meant until I grew up, went to school, graduated and all that, and then a special guest in the house too. When I saw his bio, the only thing that came to my mind was that time in my life when I was hearing most distinguished. Our special guest is an accomplished Nigerian lawyer, distinguished legislator, and dedicated public servant whose career is marked by notable reforms and commitment to participatory governance. His extensive public service journey began with foundational leadership roles, including serving as the Students' Union President of the University of Uyo in 2002, and later as the pioneer speaker of the Nigerian Youth Parliament in 2008. Following earlier roles as an aide to the state legislator in 2003 and protocol aide to the governor of Akwa Ibom State in 2007. His legislative achievements are significant. Elected to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly in 2011 and re-elected in 2015 2015, he was elected Speaker of the House of Assembly, where he introduced major reforms, just like our coordinator spoke about a few minutes ago, on participatory budgeting, open legislature, and paid legislative internships. In 2019, he transitioned to the national level, serving in the Ninth House of Representatives, where he chaired the powerful Committee on Judiciary. During his tenure, he championed vital reforms, including legislation for the improved welfare of judicial officers and a call for an increase in the number of justices of the Court of Appeal. He was consistently listed among the top 10 members with the highest number of bills. Please, a round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Academically and professionally, our special guest is the senior partner at Meliora Law Partners, a firm with offices in Abuja, Lagos, and Uyo. He holds a Director of Philosophy degree in corporate law practice and management from the University of Calabar, where he also earned his Master of Laws LLM. He holds a Bachelor of Laws also from the University of Uyo. Young African leaders. With a standing ovation and a rousing round of applause, let us welcome His Excellency, most distinguished Honorable Luke. Thank you very much, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Please let me sit. I think I'm better positioned to those who are first start by thanking God Almighty who has made it possible for all of us to see the year 2026 and to even need to see the last day of January. I woke up this morning, oh, it's 1st January, and said, oh, January is already gone. And we are here on this last day, carrying on with the activities of Yali. And I want to say a very happy new year to all of you, and wish you the best the year of us. Where do I start? First, I was thinking that I was going to spend more time lecturing and listening to you. But I'm asked to come here and share thoughts. I'm not speaking with you, we are going to be speaking to each other, sharing thoughts about the subject of our engagement this morning. But before I delve into the main thing that we are going to engage ourselves with, I want to pick, I want to stay, thank you. I want to stay on the lesson with something. I want us to learn something. There's a book I'm currently reading. I love reading books. I love reading books. I'm not just reading to read. Just try to see how I practice what I read. And that comes from I'm a man of deep faith. I'm proud of my faith. And so the Bible says that don't only be the hearer of the word, but be the doer. And I believe that the Quran says of us also, it's not just lessons for you to hear, it's lessons for you to practice, to make you a better being. And so for this, for the month that this month of January, I took a book, I will show you the book soon, which speaks to what just happened here. And I want us to take the lesson, and the lesson I learned from the book, which will help us even ultimately at it's just like a cotton razor to our conversation this morning. And so the MC came here and said, who can mention and point at 5 persons who have introduced themselves? And then my brother tried to mention 4, pointing at them in their right direction. But when he mentioned princess, he pointed at the wrong direction. And so that speaks to this book I've been reading. I was hoping to complete it by this month, but I've not been able to, but I should try. 10 minutes mindfulness. 71 simple habits for living in the present moment. And all what the book is saying, everything you have to do, can you just give 10 minutes? Forget about everything and be engrossed in that moment. Because we are constantly racing towards achieving one thing or the other. And so even while you are here, your mind is already at what you are going to do in the next 2-3 hours. Your mind is already at what you are going to do in the evening. And so you lose the benefit, or you miss the benefit of you lose the benefit that you would have gotten in being engrossed, immersed in this moment. And so it talks about a whole lot of things. Like even when you are under the shower, just concentrate with the water falling upon your head. You are taking a shower at that moment. He said, be mindful even when you are drinking a glass of water. Be mindful even when you are sitting on the loo, and just know that this is what you are doing. And then if you cannot be mindful, begin to breathe in and breathe out. And begin to thank God for the functionality of your organs to be able to allow you to pee in the morning, to be able to allow you to sit in the toilet. And the book says, even when you are laying your bed after waking up, be conscious of that bed laying. Take off the pillow gently, keep them elsewhere. Arrange the bed sheet, tuck them in properly. Don't think about anything. Just look at that bed. If you are going to be distracted, begin to thank God for a beautiful bed to sleep on, because there are many. Imagine those who are sleeping under the bridge. And after that, return and lay the pillows properly. And so, for whatever you are doing, even in the goals, as we're going to talk, we are going to set, be mindful of the goals and be mindful of the strategies that you will adopt in achieving your goals. And so, Utube has been my protege, and I intentionally am always on the go, I'm always on the move. But when I am asked to do something that aligns with my goal, I try to seize that opportunity to do it. Being here, I'm being here not so much that I like to do it. I'm being here because what he has asked me to do aligns with my goals. One of my goals in life is to try to be, not just to be a leader, but just to share the things I have learned with others and help them, give them a shoulder to climb upon to see the world farther. Maybe opportunities I never had. And my goal is to share my experiences with the younger generation. And so when I got this invitation, I looked at my itinerary. I said, well, for this weekend, I have to be in Abuja, and I have to come and discharge this responsibility that has been entrusted upon my shoulders. And so I want to thank you for extending the invitation to me. And I'm just going to share some practical lessons that have worked for me. I'm not an expert in goal setting. I'm not an expert in goal execution. I have to say that as a caveat. But the things I'm going to share with you have shaped my life over the years. Am I the inventor? Am I the owner of the ideas that I have applied or the strategies I've applied? Absolutely no. I picked these ideas from the books I have read. I picked these ideas from people I have had to associate with over time. Then I try to do an eclectic view in practicalizing those ideas. And so I was asked to come and share thoughts with you on self-governance, the missing link between goal setting and goal achievement. And for my opening thoughts, which aligns with what the coordinator said in his probably his welcome speech or his welcome remark. Every January, it happens to everybody, happens to me too. Every January, the world becomes ambitious. Gyms are crowded. Because of so much food we ate during the festive period, we say, no, we want to go and burn calories. So we renew our subscription to gyms. And so everyone comes out to the gym in January, working out with motivation. I said vision boards are designed. I know you all do. Journals are purchased, but by March, motivation disappears. By June, we give ourselves to a ton of excuses as to why we have not been able to meet our set goals. Part of my communication strategy is to be honest with you and honest with the people I engage with. So, I'm not just writing this because I am assuming or I am looking at it in the lives of others. I'm writing it because I'm experiencing it myself. And so today we will discuss the meat of the matter, the discipline, which is what I call the missing link. So when I talk about discipline, it's for this in this context, it's going to be synonymous with self-governance, self-control. When I talk about self-governance and self-control, in this context, it means discipline. The discipline and actions required to achieve our goals, that's set goals, it's what I call the self-governance. I went on to definition of terms. I know that this is going to be given to you. This slide is going to be shared to you in the inbox. So I will leave goal setting and believe that this generation, sometimes when I'm asked to come and speak to, okay, let me start from my home. So I have a set of two guys and two girls. 4 kids. My first son is 16, going to be 17 this week. Second is 16. And then 15 going to be 16 in June. And then the next is 14 going to be 15. And then the last guy is 8. You're looking at me. Okay, so I'll be 48 by March 16. So what did I want to say? I said, when I'm asked, so even with them, when I have a conversation with them, I'm trying to get down to their level to understand what they think and what they represent. And so, because the generation after us is too intelligent, too smart, well exposed, and then they have tons of information. Like you must be careful with the information that you pass. Otherwise, you are seen as a liar. You did not intentionally set out to lie, but because you are not opportune to have the level of information that they have, and you have the information. So I would not want to believe sufficiently exposed and educated to know the meaning of those things. But I want to look at self-governance. I said I refer it to the capacity of an individual to regulate their behavior, emotions, decisions, time, and impulses in alignment with long-term values and goals without external enforcement. Nobody has to push you to do what you have determined to do. If I set out to read for 2 hours in a day, I mean, this reading does not have to do with anything that is connected to my field, which is law, then the reading that has to, I have a goal to read to improve my character, to improve my, to work on my habits, to work on my behavior. And so I look at books to read to help me achieve that. I used to have anger issues. Then I could shout and shout and shout. I don't bear grudges because when I shout before over, I walk away. And that's the only way that I forgive. If I don't speak about it, my heart is heavy. And so when I speak with emotions. And so I determined to work on my emotions. I say, when I read the things I read, I put my name there, not your view, you have to tame your impulses. Not your view, you have to tame your ego. Not your view, you have to tame your emotions. And so, putting myself within that consciousness, I said, what do I need to do? Oh, I must read the books. And so I start on spirituality. So I start with spirituality, the Bible. So what is the Bible saying about emotions? I said, so okay, place like James 1, verse 19. It said, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And so every time, maybe I'm driving, and then this Abuja green driver begins to drive wrong me. This is what people begin to say, oh, give him fire, and begin to shout. I don't remember, oh, not your look. You need to tell your emotions and your impulses. I remember what happened. And the next thing I begin to look at books to help me. And I decided that it's a product of your behavior and action is a product of thinking. I'm staying on here because this is the meat of the matter, self-governance. So I realized that your actions, behaviors, even your inactions are all product of thinking. It comes from the place of thinking. And I began to look for books. And so in dealing with thinking, I went to get one book by Shem Parish called Clear Thinking, The Art and Science of Decision Making. Clear Thinking by Shem Parish. And the book makes me to understand that human beings have 4 defaults that hinders the ability to think right and take the right decision. One is emotions default. So we take actions and we take decisions based on emotions. It doesn't allow us to sit and think clearly. And then next is ego default. You know who I am. Why should you say that to me? Who are you? And so we begin to take decision, okay, why should this person come and talk to me? Who is he? Who is she? And so we take our actions based on that. Who we are, the level we have attained in life, whether in academics, whether in social standing, whether by age. And then your junior brother, who is probably 5, 6 years, because of the fact that they've been trained to be audacious, comes to you like a 22, 23, 25, or 30-year-old and challenges your authority. And then you begin to take a decision not based on reflective data. Why should this small boy come to correct me like they do? And one day I was talking to my kids, my last boy, he was, I think, about 6 then. I just said, please, can you give me some vegetables? He said, no, Dad, it's not vegetables, it's vegetables. I said, please, I still don't understand. So, okay, Dad, he brought his iPad, then keyed in the word. He said, now listen to the pronunciation. I said, what is pronunciation? I said, it's pronunciation. He said, you know, that is pronunciation. And then for me, at that moment, I said, okay, I'm not going to, because of ego, okay, I'm not going to be teaching you anything again, I'm angry. That was not a decision taken from clear thinking. The other one is social default. Because everybody is thinking along that same way, everybody is acting that same way, because we want to belong. We take a decision based on social setting. The last one, the fourth one is initial default. We are taking decision because we don't know the decision to take, or we don't want to take decision. And so it hinders our thinking. We are in a state of inertia. And so self-governance here is the ability to be able to tame all these defaults. That's where I'm coming. Tame all these defaults, to govern yourself, to rise, to take the actions we need to take in order to achieve our goals. So discipline is key. Have I said goals before? Years ago. I set, like I have my, as part of my vulnerability, I will share some of my goals with you. And then I share, because I have the long term, I have the short term, I have the strategies to achieve those goals. So what we will need to do to be able to arrive at achievement. So I was trying to say that I've set goals before. I've not been able to achieve some, or achieve some, and I roll some back, some because I am lazy about it, and some because I did not put in the discipline I ought to put. I have not mustered enough self-will to regulate myself to the point that I can go through the process. Because for you to achieve your goals, as we get to see, you need to put in place systems, structures, and endure. But let me not use it, persevere. Because it might sound negative, I said endure. Persevere and be resilient through the discipline you need to put in place to achieve your goals. And so why do goals fail? My own thinking, my understanding, which I want to share with you, and I believe that you will equally share yours with me in this engagement. So most people think that the journey looks like this. I hope I have it. Most people think that this is how the journey looks like. Vision, goal, and success. They look, this is the journey. In reality, the journey looks like vision that you have, goal or goals, daily choices, which leads to habits, and which leads to identity, and then to outcome. I want to share something practical with you. And so this is like my goal book, not for this year, it's in years. And so there's from 2023 to 2033, God keeping us alive. I called it my decade of destiny. Between my 45th birthday and my 55th birthday. I call it my decade of destiny, and I have the goals to achieve within that decade of destiny. And so I'm clear on them. Now, I told you something about what I'm big on. So I want you to do me a favor. I will give it to you. I have long-term goals. And so you read, I did the long-term goals, I did the short-term goals, and I broke them down time by time. So you read the totality of my long-term goal. And I will guide you through it, to the understanding of everyone. Long-term goals. Number one. Long-term goals. Number one, make heaven. Praise the Lord. Number two, raise a blessed, successful, happy, united, model family. Number three, impact my environment and my world. Be a blessing to my family, friends, loved ones, and humanity.
Number 4, become a prominent leader, a figure with integrity. Last one, be wealthy, even at old age.
Now, read the short term on the short. This is the short term on my number 1, and listen to what I have broken it down.
So the short term for to make heaven, devoted to the pursuit of righteousness and right standing with God, devote to a life of prayer and constant study of the scripture, dedicate my life, time, energy, resources, and potentials in the service of God.
That's for 1. Now, for the second one, part 2 about the family.
For the second one, strive to live an exemplary life as a leader of the family. Lead the family in the way of the Lord through scripture and lesson sharing. Persevere and endure through the struggle to keep the family united. Ensure proper education of all the family members. Make savings towards education through an educational trust fund. Encourage everyone to take lessons in financial literacy and entrepreneurship. Commit to supporting and sponsoring my wife to attend the highest height of academic and career pursuits.
You saw that, okay, what did you see?
I actually saw that the wife is now a PhD.
Wow.
No, professor.
Associate professor.
Professor. Associate professor.
So, now hold on that. So now, what year is this?
It's 2025.
What do I call
Year
it?
of Jubilee.
And then the first thing,
Spiritual growth.
and now go to personal goals and spiritual goals and read what I have written there.
Okay, for the spiritual, wake up for devotion by 5 a.m. So you wake up first and you wake the family up by 5:30 a.m. So evening devotion by 9 p.m. Fast once a week and the first 3 days of the month. 7 days New Year fast. Attend Bible school. Commit more to service in God's house, sanctuary keeper, and choir.
So let me, I didn't want you to begin to mention, okay, now, the financial, I don't want you to mention the financial. And so, now, why did I bring you a peek into this? Now, those are the things I wrote, not this year, not last year, not the year before last. They are goals I have set. Have I achieved them? Yes. He made mention of it. My wife got a PhD in 2016. And then I was still not satisfied. In 2022, I said we must leave. She just spent 3 years from 2023. She just came back in January. Was in the University of Surrey in London, doing another master's program in renewable energy systems engineering, and then did her postdoc, and is returning last December. They just made an associate professor in the US. Now, that was my goal, and I consistently followed through. And there are other of my goals that are here that in the course of my engagement I'll talk to you. And so I decided to show that one in spiritual, to show something, which is daily choices. And one of the daily choices I make to achieve my spiritual goal is to wake up by that 5 a.m. and wake the family by 5:30. And then go to have a morning devotion by 9 p.m. And now it has become a norm in the family that no matter where we are, before I made this goal, I would go to places I stayed till about 10, 11, 12, come back. But right now, yesterday, one of our leaders, who's been a mentor to and a brother, Dr. Linus Okori, did a book launch and invited me. It was to be 6 to 8, and then the Saturday, almost when I looked at the time, it was in Hilton, and I live in Usape by Asokoro intersection. And I look at my time, it's almost getting to 8:45. I have to say, oh, excuse me, I dash back home. So the daily choices we make. I'll give another example. Having done what I felt I did for other members of the family, starting from my wife to attain a height, I decided in 2022 to go for my PhD in law. And when I finished my coursework, I'm using this just to share, with almost humility, I'm using this to share lessons, not to brag about anything. And so the time came for dissertation writing, and it became difficult, it was challenging. I now decided to begin to break down, say, okay, I see how detailed. Sorry, please, I'm taking it because I said when I speak with you, now read. So this is my goal for 2024. And part of that goal for 2024 is read number 3. Okay, now read 1, 2, 3 for 2024. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2024 commence a complete reconstruction of the Zape house. To establish a foundation, complete my doctoral coursework, and commence my research work. Purchase land for church project. Now come. It's number 3 that is important to me. Now I came to Q2, quarter 2 of that year, Q2. Read what I did from April to June. Completion of remaking and really that look at read completion of coursework, take all the examinations, and then commencement of research work with proposal defense. So I will not be able to give because I cannot be able to give one. So every month I had a target. I said for this month I want to finish my chapter 1. And to finish my chapter 1, I am going to write 10 pages every day. And for every of that month, I will devote 1 full week that I'm not going to anywhere apart from this church. I'm going to stay at home. I'm using that as an example of the daily choices. And because of that, it has now become my habit. I found out the things that were impeding my progress. One of them was to wake up in the morning and carry my phone. The moment I carry my phone with the pressure I have, demands on my time, my energy, and resources, I become distracted. I cannot devote my time to do the things I have set to do. So I made a choice not to touch my phone the very first 2 hours of my morning, no matter what happens. It is as bad, at the point I said, God forgive me. It is as bad as I said, even though any of my relative is dead, they will put the person in the mortuary. Because I needed to discipline myself. I knew that that was a distraction, which we will come to see. So the daily choices, vision you have, the goals you say, the daily choices you make leads to habits. And then the identity becomes part of you. It has become part of me now. Whether I have what to do or not, or anything not to do, I don't pick my phone first thing in the morning. Instead, I will go and, as part of one of the things I've read through this week, if I don't have anything to do after meditation, I'll go and watch, my house faces the sun directly. I'll go and watch the morning sun and smile. Let the phone and its challenges wait. Now, this is without prejudice to those whose business hangs around their phones. Because we must balance this information. If your business hangs around your phone, you must know the time you must approach your phone and which app you must go to first. And so it leads to the result, the outcome, the success that we are talking about. And so goals fail not because they are unrealistic, but because more often than not, emotions override discipline. We seek comfort over consistency. We go for short-term pleasure which ultimately distract us from the essence. That is not a planning problem. That is a governance problem. It's a discipline problem. The greatest challenge we have, the greatest challenge between us and success is discipline. Is it in financial management? It's discipline. How you are able to tame. You might be making a whole lot of money, but you're not wealthy because you've not been able to tame your impulses. You've not been able to tame your emotions. You buy the things that you see, not the things you plan for to buy. So discipline is what we need. Self-regulation, self-control is what we need to be able to achieve our goals. Like I said, I'm not a smart on goal setting, smart goals, and how you have to be specific. Sometimes I am thinking, am I limiting myself? I don't set very ambitious goals. Ambitious goals, let me say so. Like now, some people came to me someday and said, oh, you know, this is the political trajectory. One day, you become the president of this country. I said, I have not dreamt about it at all. They say, you're limiting yourself. I said, I've not dreamt about it because, one, I don't envy anybody who commits. I love my peace. So I love the way I'm enjoying my private life. The little ones I used to. The only goals I had for those from my sibling was I wanted to become, which I ran for 20 years, I couldn't make it. So I set my goals to the point that there are the things I want to see in the future to their lives. Like I've told you, I want to be a wealthy man, even at old age. What is my goal at that time? That I can tell my children, you wait, I pack all my grandchildren, I board a flight, and then we go for a summer holiday. And all expenses paid for by me, for my grandchildren. That is it's a goal for me, because that is what makes me happy. Then I'm planning a goal that I can have about 200 young people who don't have people to cater for them, at old age, stay in boarding house, and all expenses paid for me until they get at least their first degree, which is achievable if you set the structure and plan. And I started setting the structure by having my foundation in place. And so it's about self-governance. But first, before that self-governance, is how realistic are your goals, which is what you have done. You know, I'm not going to teach you because, like I said, I'm not an expert on that. I'm only teaching you, I'm only sharing with you the lessons and the experience I've had that has worked for me. And so I see the 5 pillars of self-governance. This is according to me. And where have I gotten this from? According to others that I have read, it's an eclectic view of the things I have learned from authors and from the things that has been deposited and dropped in my spirit. Clarity. You cannot govern what is vague. You cannot govern what is vague. When I talked about the issue, part of my last goal is to be a leader figure and a detribalized. It's in the book, it's in my goals, a detribalized leader. In the sense that, yes, while we are all trying to ethnic identity, with a leader that the different ethnic groups can come together and say, okay, if he gives an opinion on this, then his opinion is authentic. Yes, it's difficult in our setting because your people are going to say you have denied where you come from. And so in doing that, I'm conscious about a whole lot of things. I'm conscious in my daily living, in my utterances, whether in public or private. If I say I want to become a neutralized leader, and tomorrow I come to sit with him in private and begin to castigate other ethnic group of people based on their ethnic affiliation. He might respect me in the public, but every time he reflects on the conversation we had privately, then he does not see me in the light of what I have projected or the goals I have projected for my own self. And so you must be clear on the goals. You have to have clarity. Is it financial goals? When I talked about my financial goals, I found out that I cannot achieve anything about those financial goals if I don't have financial literacy. And so 3 years ago, I never knew anything about financial literacy. So 3 years ago, I started a lesson in financial literacy. I did not know what was stock. I did not know what was. It wasn't my wife that was doing shares and everything. I did not know what was mutual fund. I did not know what was equity fund. I did not know about anything financial services until I said, okay, if I want to be wealthy, if I want to have wealth, which is like the commitment I had in public service to the God of God Almighty, I said, I want to serve in the public service and come out without a dent on my figure because of having had to dip my hands into the public tilt. And so I must learn what financial services is. I started learning as my goal. I have a goal where I want to go to this year. So having understood that, what am I following as my goal today? There are things I never used to pay attention to, discipline. There is this guy, I've forgotten his first name, wrote to Sudil on Arise. And this lady in AIT, I forgot her name, Nancy on AIT, Moneyline. I didn't used to wonder about those things, but right now, even before the year started, I asked question, where is the economy of Nigeria going? And then I asked them to give me a summary. And having known that, I have now made a projection of what is going to be my goal financially this year. And I said, by the end of this year, I want to have a multiple investment that will lead me that by the end of the year, at month end, this is what I want to be earning monthly. So what goal did I first? I decided to be following that news. And then I went to find two ladies online that I am following them secretly. They don't know. And they are good. I must acknowledge them here. Financial Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that will be Okoye. I'm following them secretly. They make submissions and I'm looking at, oh, this stock is rising. And they make me understand that, oh, now where can you buy the shares? We will always eat. We will always need medication. We will always use data and airtime. So I'm not promoting any firm, but consumer services, consumer goods, IT companies that sells data. So I follow that. If I make so as I'm making my plans and my goals, I am looking at, for clarity purposes, this is where I'm going to. And so because of that, I'm not spending the way I'm going to be spending or I had spent last year if I want to achieve that goal at the end of it. So discipline comes in. And I started that discipline even by this January. But my children are saying, Daddy, you've changed. They will come. They said the school needs 8,000 for this. I said, please, wait. Before them now, they will ask, I give. Right now, I said, if that is not in this plan that we have, it's not for the month. I may give up by the grace of God. This is not blowing my trumpet. Charity takes a lot of money. But right now, I got it. When once this one finishes, charity closes. Even if it's my mother that is asking for that charity, it's not there again. That is the discipline I am trying to put in place because of what I'm trying to build. And I am building from a point of experience. Why am I doing this? I used to feel that after public office, I will have a whole lot of my friends come to my aid. But last year, I was at almost point. But man, God did not allow me to get to point zero. But the point that I'm in need of help, and I found that nobody could come to you help. I said, no. Now that nobody could come to my help, I must stand up and help myself. And helping myself is to plan. Everything is within that basket. Clarity. Self-governance, self-governed people define what success looks like. I've told you, I took time to give you that because of painting a picture, clear picture concerning my own idea of success. And success as a goal for me too this year. Fun is part of it. My goal this year is to go for a dance class. Because that is part of my success. It's not about how much I want to have. It's how happy I want to be. This year is a year of happiness and fun for me. And so, what failure looks like, I see it too. And then what progress looks like. I know what progress looks like for me. When I was in public service, I made sure that at every point in time, I go for, by the grace of God, I go for personal development. I love personal development courses. And by the grace of God, I'm a senior executive fellow of Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I've been to Yale, yeah. And I've been to Harvard Kennedy School of Government. That was transitioning in October. I've been to Harvard Business School. I've been to Align Manchester Business School. I've been to Yale University under the Nigerian Leadership Initiative of Dr. Olusegun Aganga. And some of these programs are paid for. And so I made a budget. So for the last 2 years, I have not attended any program. And in Harvard Kennedy School of Government, there's a pathway. If you attend 3 courses in 6 years, you have a pathway to public leadership certification. And so this year, as part of my fund, what to give me happiness is to give myself that 1 year program. I mean, that program for this particular year to make me happy and fun. And part of this one I'm still contemplating, culinary school is still part of that. And because it's fun, that is success for me, as long as apart from the children's training. The other success in the last 2 years was make my wife go to school and come back. She has become, so I feel successful in that area. The other success again was for me to get my PhD, like I said. I did my standard defense on the 7th of this month. And by the grace of God, I've done my correction and submitted. I've not used the title because the Senate has not approved yet. It is not the defense that makes you a PhD holder. It is the approval of the Senate. Until the Senate approves and gives me that certificate, I can't call myself a doctor yet. But I think by next month they should be able to do that. So you look at what progress looks like for clarity. Then personal standards. I've told you about personal standards in my spiritual goal. And personal standard, again, let me use my personal goal in the area of self. I love myself a lot. Because I learned that in the last years. I used to love people, and forget about myself. So, sorry, sir, I'm still going to take you to something, something like I wrote as I was given 15. I'm rounding up now. And so, part of my goal, look at the last, read it till here. Till here. That is from here to here. So, to prioritize self-care. Number 1, travel to natural environment. Shut down from the noise once in a while. Spa moment. Me moment. Regular medicals. Gym. Golf. Probiotic supplement intake. And so I'm saying that to look at my personal standards, so I divide. I do golf 3 days in a week, and I do gym 2 days in a week. And no matter the challenge, I try to keep to it. And I try to find in between that day to still fit in my spiritual, because you cannot be, the day you fast, you might not be able to handle all those physical exercise. So I find my days, and those days God is not in it, gym is not in it. And so my personal standard, day before yesterday, I finished my golf game. I came back, I was tired. I went straight to beauty cake, is it, what is it? In Lagos Street, like I spent time, I did Cleopatra. You understand? And after that, they did facials. And after that, I went, they did my nails, did my pedicure, manicure. And after that, I went and sat somewhere and found green tea with lemon and honey and drank. I'm saying that personal standards, but their personal standards should be to the point that, I mean, you set the goals that you can afford, and your personal standards should be the point that you can afford. So ask yourself, what do I refuse to tolerate from myself? What behavior is non-negotiable? I talked about the issue of emotional control. And so part of my goals this year was that, okay, I'm going to be minding my utterances to the sense that the words that come out from my mouth should be words that blesses, not the ones that slander. And you know, in political space, there's bass goes. But I've decided that I don't want to do that bass goes. No matter what you speak against me, I'll just, okay, let me speak words of blessings. It's difficult. And so my personal standard every morning is, oh, God, fill my heart with peace. Because you cannot speak words of blessing and peace from a fountain of anger. So you can only speak words of peace and blessing from a fountain of peace. And so personal standard, no matter how they get around, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. Avoid that environment and go into the space that is comfortable, even in your own home. You know, I'm not talking about women, and I won't say anything about women and what they can do. So if they bring the bass goes, while they are downstairs, I might go to the penthouse. While they are in the penthouse, I might go to the outside, the pool side. So monitoring, like time is up, yeah. Governance requires oversight. Look at what everything I've done there, the things I said to do for first quarter in January. By today, this evening, I'm going to go and tick the ones I have been able to achieve. Like I told you, coming to this event was part of my goals for January. And so, and it aligns with my goal to be able to share my experiences with people. So I'm going to go there and tick it off. I was able to share my leadership thoughts. And I believe that one or two persons would have gained something from the few things I've said here. And so I have achieved that which I determined for myself to be able to help others climb on my shoulders and see the world better. And so self-governed people track time, their habits, and their outputs. Then you make adjustments. What worked, what failed, what must change. Then you look at the consequences. Self-governance will require that you design consequences for broken commitment. That there's a big thing. Let me leave that for another day. On here. And so you reward personal consistency with proper oversight. You are able to correct deviations early. Every system without consequences collapse. My closing thoughts. Goals, no matter how noble or ambitious, remain in the realm of wishful thinking until they are backed by disciplined action, consistent habits, and personal accountability. We talked about accountability partner. But if you don't have one immediately, can you be accountable to yourself? And one of the ways to be accountable, like I shared in the book I told you about 10 minutes mindfulness. The author said, go and stand at the mirror for 10 minutes and look at yourself. You know, sometimes, I don't know whether it happens to you. Let me talk about myself. There were times that I knew that my characters were not in the best place, so I was running away from looking at myself in the mirror. I don't know how many people have ever experienced that before. You are running away from yourself. You look at yourself and you begin to are you the one doing all this? face yourself in the mirror. Be accountable. And ask yourself, especially when I do it, most of the times I do maybe like in the room mirror, I do it naked. You know why? This is how I see myself. Not the me that has been dressed up. Everybody is seeing. Just like when, sorry, I'm going to use this example. It's a little bit nasty. But when we're in the boarding house, there were some of our boys in school that they will wear very clean up and down. But their boxers it's something else. You understand? When you look at yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror as you are, not the you want others to see. And so you begin to be accountable to yourself. What ultimately separates aspiration from achievement is not access to opportunities or the absence of challenges, but the ability to regulate oneself in the face of distraction, delay, and discomfort. Where self-governance is weak, even the best intentions can eventually collapse. And so, brothers and sisters, this morning, pardon me that I've taken a little bit, I didn't know I should have been given the time to speak. I speak for a living, I can speak from now to the evening, but this one I had to cut because I'm not paid. So that's why I had to cut. We are going to be paid, I would have just right. But I want to thank you because you have paid me more than money could do by extending the invitation to me and then coming here to sit and listen to me. And I'm going to sit and listen to you too and pick lessons to continue to build. The ultimate aim of growth is not for me, it's not wealth and acquisition. The ultimate aim of growth is how do you become a better person? And most ultimately, how do you please your creator after your life here on earth? That's the ultimate aim. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sorry,
all right.
please.
So,
one of the challenges of execution is procrastination. And I want you to read this book, The Habits Now. You have it. They now have it. I think it's not one of those I have underlined, so I leave a copy with you guys. So
thank you very much, sir. Very much, sir. Please, a round of applause for him once more. I believe we've all learned something today. See, connections, money can take you to a certain extent, right? But if you cannot manage yourself, it becomes a big issue. Yeah? So we appreciate you very much. And very quickly, we'll be taking 2 or 3 questions. One from this side, one from this side. And okay, I have one person raising their hands already to balance it. Well, who wants to ask right honorable a question? Okay, I need one person from here. Don't worry, I'm coming to you. You were the first to raise up your hand. I saw you. And I need a lady from this side. Sorry. A lady from this side, a gentleman from this side, just to balance things out. Nobody? Okay, so we'll take you, sir. And then, sorry, your question. And you.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, sir. That was quite an exciting session. Thank you so much. So, when you talk with a lot of young people, right? Their dreams, their aspirations, we have goals. I think you're yeah. So they have goals, and but you discover that the environment where we are, I really do not like always referring to the economic situation but I mean you can't just ignore it, right? You discover that a lot of us are in a survival stage. People are just trying to survive. Just what will I eat the next day? And it's not really that, like I said, they have great things they want to do. They want to set up foundations, they want to help the orphans, they want to help those who have been abused and all. but because of and it's not like they're not trying their best. Some are educated, some work 2, 3 jobs, they do both on-site and online and all that. So how do we fill these gaps? How do we balance this? People who really want to do big things but are limited. I mean, look at some of your goals. You want to. I'm not saying we are up to your level yet, but it's nice, you want to your spiritual goals. I was really happy. You want to do things. You want to get land for church. You want to do a lot of things, and those things are really financial weight. So how do we balance these things?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Okay. 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 Maybe I want to give a little bit of background that will help you in answering this question. I did not just arrive at where I am today. I came from a model family. My mother, a teacher, retired as a principal. But my father died when I was 18. So life took a different turn. And I told myself that I will not stay where life has kept me or where life has found me. And so I determined on the few things to do. One, I told myself that I will pursue the course of leadership. And that in the course of pursuing this course of leadership, that fortune, luck will happen to me on the way. And so it started in the university. I got into the university. I joined what we call the University Student Rights Organization, fighting for the right of the student, standing for people's causes. And then some senior comrade who were doing NANS activities, the National Association of Nigerian Students, identified me and began to take me to NANS conventions across the country. This is 2000, this is 99, 2000. And so in appearing at NANS convention, I will see my brothers, most especially from Southwest, who hold the NANS floor adumbrating for hours on national issues, contemporary issues. And I asked myself, where did they learn that from? I discovered that they read books, they read autobiographies of great people, they read articles from journals, they were versatile. We had people too, we had others too from across the country, Northerners, Easterners, and a whole lot of people who were there, speaking, holding the floor. And I told myself, I want to be like them. So I went beyond reading for my law courses. I decided to read expansively, to be versatile in almost all aspects of life. I became a fan of this day newspaper, reading articles of great journalists. I started reading what, so I would ask them, which book do you? They said, have you read this book by Chodobera? Have you read this book by Wole Soyinka? And so that turned me into an avid reader. And so when I came back locally and then applied some of these things within the university environment, I became a known figure within the university. And so it was not difficult when I put out myself to contest for the student non-government president of the university. It was not difficult for the student to rally around me and elect me as the leader of the students' community. Against all odds, against the fact that, pardon me, because I'm giving you this background because you might see me from the eyes of this. I used to wear coat, not suit. Today, this one is suit. I used to wear coat oversized, the ones as of them. So why am I saying so? No matter where you find yourself, deal with what you have. Start with what you have. So I did that, and then I got elected. Still, this university increased school fees, and then they asked me to compromise and stand with them. I said no. I made a protest, a peaceful one. The university was closed, And then the student knew that I was on their side. I was rusticated 1 year in the university. It costed me 3 years to wait before I could get admission into law school. That shut me up in the politics of Akwa Ibom. What everybody felt that was a downturn became a blessing for me. They saw me as a prominent youth leader, a prominent student leader. And so it was not difficult in 2003 for us to come together and mobilize for the re-election of Zezebe and myself playing a role there as an active leader. And it was not difficult too in 2005 and 6 for me to be in the forefront. I did not have any relationship at all with the present Senate President. The only thing he saw, we went on a rally and I spoke for just 20 minutes. The guy said, "You are the future of this state. Come and work with me." And that's when I started working with him as a commissioner. And then we rallied around to make him a governor of the state. And he appointed me as his PA on protocol matters. Why am I giving this story? Start with what you have. Make sure that you are visible. You cannot be visible if you are empty. Please read widely so that when you have opportunity like this, okay, let me share something with you. I've known Utre for so long a time. But when he was making an opening remark, and I'm telling myself, how come that I've been suffering in Abuja like this? Meanwhile, I have somebody who would have helped me deal with a whole lot of work with what I am doing. And I took a decision here that I don't want to announce that decision, that we are going to be working more closer than we used, because I listened to his line of thought in his opening comment. I said, this is not the teller I knew 3-4 years ago. He's matured, he studied so much, so I can entrust him with so many things without being afraid that he would be immature in execution. Capacity, that's the word. He has developed capacity. So develop capacity when the opportunity comes. Start with what you have. Last year I was confused about a lot of things. I said, my life, I want to start afresh in life. And I said, where am I going to start? So a word came to me, start with what do I ask God, what do I have? God says you have brain. I said again, what do I have? He said you have their qualification. He said, what do I have? He said you have their former colleagues that you were serving together in the workplace. And I remember, oh, did I make a good relationship with people? So relationship, it matters. Relationship matters. So let me not take much of time. So start with what you have, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Build capacity and start with what you have. Please, a round of applause for him. All right. So we'll take one more question just because of time. Yes. Also very quickly because he's pressed for time.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Chukwu Wonsu, and I'm a disability rights advocate. I'm so happy to be here because it's not a mistake. I believe that most of the persons with disability that are here were invited by me. I've been a member of Yali for like 5 years now, but for 2 years I skipped attending Yali events because I was working in the non-profit sector. I'm a communication officer with Open Life for Possibilities Initiative, Synergy Foundation, and Voice for Persons with Disability Community Practice. So it's not a question. Like, I'm a product of many meetings, and today I have seen someone that his goals align with my life, 98%. I'm very shocked. Like, I'm very shocked today, and I'm so happy that a lot of young persons with disability that are here, you have a mind shift. So this is more of personal and practical skill, like what I've learned today. And sir, I would like to apply for your mentorship if you have one. Yes, like this is personal to me. I have to resign with one of the organizations so that I'll give them attention. And I'm happy that this year as I've started, my first time of coming, that I came on time and I was able to grab what you have. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right, so we'll take one more question.
As they hot, my brother don't shoot in shots. Wonderful. All right. Very quickly, your question.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. So my question is, I also know about goals that you spoke about and stuff like that, the goals setting and everything. Now there's a bifurcated view with regards to goal setting and everything like that. Now there's a school of thought that said that when you set goals, you don't talk to people about the goals, you keep the goals private and stuff like that. Different other stories like that, yes. And the thing is, generally speaking, whenever they bring propositions like this, they mostly come to academic theory to back it up, which is that if you play private about your goals, what happens is that the main rush that mostly comes with goal setting is not going to be there and stuff like that. But on the other standpoint, the belief is that when you set goals sometimes, you share with people, you talk to people about your goals, you relate to people. This way, it actually creates room for something called accountability. And one thing I know is that accountability sometimes comes with public accountability. I can talk about my goal set with everybody here. Like I want to do X, Y, Z in the next 5, 10 years like that. And then if this person sees me or that person sees me, they tend to ask me, okay, what exactly am I doing again? So now I want to know, how do we balance this thing? How much indulgence is overindulgence?
Okay. When I came here, I think my opening statement was that I'm not an expert in goal setting, but I only share with you, like a brother, I said I've walked this path, and this path has worked for me. And what has guided me through this path is the eclectic view. I keep using that word. That is PK, holistic, PK, and apply it in my own circumstance. Now, I don't, when I read theories, I try to see how those theories sit well with me, how they apply to my own practical life. I don't just want to run along with the theory as it has been conceptualized by the author or progenitor. And so it's good, theory is good, but practicalizing those theories for me is better because the theory was to help you or help us have every theory I believe is to help us have good theories, is to help us have a better society, become better human beings. Now, in sharing, for me, you see, I was careful about the goals I allowed him to read here. I was guiding him through because there are ones that are deep for me. I mean, deep, that those ones are personal with me. There are goals that I have, like in my family, there are goals I share with my wife, there are goals I not share with my wife. The goals that I want to correct, I mean, certain goals that I want to correct, certain character of mine, I know that let me work to correct this character. Because sometimes we are all humans. You might share this goal, and what you want to correct might be something that you have been fighting on secretly. And that in a bid of wanting to share it as a goal, it scatters the family. So you must be very careful. You have their aim. Your aim is that you want the family to be better. You want to work to become a better person. So I'm saying this to say that you have to be mindful of the kind of goals you share with people. I talked about financial goals here. I've not told you how much I want to make at the end of the month. I mean, every month at the end of the year. I've had what do they call it, as family, as I am in family, I have sexual goals, but I can't share that with you. I mean, I can only share that with my partner, which is my wife. I have children's goal that I share, that the children need to know, that I share with the children. But I have goals that concern the children that they don't need to know. I have goals about my siblings. I have goals about my mother. She's still alive. That is about her, but she doesn't need to know because one, if she knows, she's going to bring me under pressure. For instance, if I say, okay, every month end, this is what I am going to do for my mother. She can come and say, okay, and this person, because she gives a lot, people bother her a lot. You say, okay, son, please, instead of you to be giving me this a month, just lump it and give me one for the quarter. It is not even, that quarter might not even be over. She has finished spending it. And then you go to visit her. And then you see that things are not in the house. You are going to spend what you did not plan for to spend again. So what I'm saying is be mindful of the people you share your goals with and be mindful of the goals you share with others. It needs wisdom and guidance and divine direction in whatsoever you are going to do. There is no clear cut. I think I have my sister who is going to assist me.
Okay, so I wanted to add that sometimes wisdom, like you mentioned, is critical. You know what we say? I'm asking for a friend. You can say the thing you want to say, but you're saying it in a third party kind of form. Oh, I have a friend that wants to build a house. You know, you're asking for the same advice that you need for yourself, but you're presenting it as though it is not your idea, but it's a third party's. You're seeking advice for a friend. So one way you can actually do that is you can still ask for support, but then just anchor in on third party form. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful addition. Is your question very quickly and very briefly? Your Excellency, sir. You said it's very brief.
All right, mine is very brief. Thank you so much for your comment. So my name is David and good morning, everyone. Mental health advocate and of mental supervision officer. All right, so my question is: are all goals achievable? Are all goals achievable? How do you know when to persist with a goal and when to refine or revisit?
All right. Okay. Are all goals achievable is a subjective issue to you, as it is. Now, okay, for instance, to make one billion. I can't declare that to be now. But there are times that I would have laid structure. I know that I've laid enough structure. I've seen this business thriving. I've seen this business thriving. I've seen this business thriving. And I now make a projection and say, at the end of this particular year, because of A, B, C, D, E, and what I am investing in, and what I am projecting to have as ROI, I will make 1 billion. But for this year, I know what I feel, and because everything now, while is hearing me keep talking about finances, most of the goals again that we took, you would need finances to be able to achieve almost, if not 80, 90% of the goals that you set for yourself. No matter. Is it to go and acquire a master's in a different field? Like now, I want to have an MBA. My next goal is to have an MBA. I didn't want you to read 2026 goals because they are ambitious. So I have an MBA. And I'm thinking, am I going to Lagos Business School? Or am I going outside the country? I did the calculation. And I came in, if I go outside the country, this was going to cost. Can I do that and pay the children's school fees by September? Can I do that and then do what I want to do for communities or support the people I said I want to send to school and pay their school fees? Can I do that and still build, because there's something, a project I'm doing this year for the orphanage home. I'm not against us always giving food to the orphanages. So in my own thinking now, I want to see whether I can have a library project for a particular orphanage. While others give them food, let me give them books to read. While others give them food, let me give them a laptop or a desktop for them to learn in that orphanage. So can I do this and still achieve that building at least one library for one orphanage in my state in year 2026 or anywhere. So I've come to the say, okay, I can't do that outside the country, so let me come back home. Coming back home, where can I do it? Can I do it in 18 months or do I do an executive month? So it's when you break down, keep analyzing the things that are, and you now begin to come down. And which leads me to the second point you asked, when to give up. For God's sake, I have been dreaming and dreaming and dreaming of owning, having not for status sake, but because of the things I know that is there. Just 1 week in Harvard Business School, my brain blew off. And I said, how much more that I could spend 2 years for an MBA? Then I don't need any money. With what they would put here, I can create money. Then again, I said, okay, if I cannot go there, can I go to London? I was in London Business School too. Can I go there? It's not feasible. So I have dropped that goal. Not totally, but where to achieve the goal. I brought my bar. I brought down my bar to the point that I can go to Pan African University or Lagos Business School and then do an executive program and then still have the knowledge, because the whole essence was that I spent 17 years in public sector. I did not know anything about business. I did not know anything about private sector. Now that I'm back in private sector, I don't want to act in ignorance. I want to know and have idea about strategy. I was good in math. I was bad in math. I had B. So I want to go and learn accounting. So that when I start business, the person will chop me, break down the business. I want to know what the ledger is like. I want to know what, for business people, ledger, financial statement. I want to see it and read it and understand. That is a goal for me. And to achieve that goal, I must learn lesson in MBA. And since I cannot get it outside because of my resources and the surrounding circumstances, so I lower it. Let me get it in Nigeria, and I still get the basic lessons that I want to. So that's my own.
Please, a round of applause for him. I won't take much more of our time, so please, if you don't mind, I have my own question. Very briefly. Very briefly. So, you've served in the Akwa Ibom House of Assembly and then went on to the federal level in the House of Representatives. And it's people usually say that politicians don't have time. They're usually very busy and they're usually meeting at night, having different discussions and all that. How did you manage to discipline yourself enough to keep to time, having your family time, your prayer time in the morning, waking up at 5 a.m.? How did you manage this? I'd like to know. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. In all honesty, the things I have learned and doing now, I didn't used to do. Like I said, I must be honest with you. I didn't used to do them. And I realized it is now that, you see, when you are out of that, I wouldn't say, when you are out of that chaos, you see things clearer and better. And why am I doing it? Okay, so I left office in 2023. So I went, and then I spoke with my son. I think I said it's going to be 17 by February. So 3 years now, so he was 14. I said that I'm happy you did not win that promotion. I said, why? He said that now we have their time. And that struck. So I didn't have time for all those. I could wake up in the morning and we just kneel by the bedside. And oh, Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for today. Oh, there was no time for Bible study. There was no time for personal engagement. We did not even have an altar. As in a prayer place. But now we do. So what am I saying? Experience teaches us great lessons. I am a product of experience. So if I'm going in again, maybe in the nearest future, not immediately, I would have established a foundation. And I need to tell you, I didn't have time. I nearly lost even my marriage. Yes, because I felt that money was there. Oh, madam, please take money, go to the market, do the things you have to do. And then this one will keep saying, you are not listening to me. I said, I'm not listening to you. We just finished a conversation. I'm not listening to you. He said, you are not listening. If you listen, you wouldn't have said this matter again. So I'm being very honest with you that it is now in private sector I didn't even know how to set and achieve goals in the public sector. As in, I mean, conscious. I knew that I could wake up as a speaker and say, okay, and this I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but not intentionally to go and read and study goal setting. And I didn't have anybody to be able to help me to do this. But right now I have somebody, and I forgot to do tell you something. For the goals I have set for myself, I try to do things every day. By my bedside, before I go to bed, I plan the following day. So right now I plan today. Today before I sleep, I'll plan tomorrow. And I avoid the noise. Like part of I want to go and concretize on my 2026 goal. So I need to be out of the noise. So I was looking for somewhere and they found me. I was looking for a monastery. So on Monday, for 7 days, I'm going to be in a monastery. Just with nature. I'm going to shut down my phone. Nobody's going to have told me. Every family member knows that those 7 days, from Monday till maybe about 8, I just want to move with nature. Go there and be. That is about identifying which goals to really pursue. Because when you are alone, you go deep into your souls and you discover the inner truth. So in those 7 days, I want to be myself, nature, and God, and a little bit of music. To behave like a monk. That is what I want. And please, for what you do, for the things you do, have time for yourself. Even if it's one day, off your phone. The heaven will not fall. Off your phone and then get into yourself to ask yourself deep, deep, deep questions, and you will find answers.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. Yes. We'll get to that. All right, thank you very much. I'll invite at this moment our wonderful coordinator, Mr. Utibe, to present Right Honorable Barrister Onofio Luke with his certificate.
Thank you very much. Thank you, MC. Please, once again, let's celebrate my father. Thank you so much. Thank you. We still have the online audience, right? Okay. Thank you to online audience. I would like to use this point to most respectfully appreciate you, because I know it's not easy to pull you out to this kind of gathering. I really, really appreciate the honor that you've done, not just me, but every member of Yali Network Abuja. So to present this certificate as fast as possible, I would like to invite all executives to please join me as we do this together. I would like to invite the Deputy Coordinator, Teresa Faruna, the Secretary Abdul Malik Yaha, Assistant Secretary Deborah, Programs Manager Damilola, Christabel Welfare, what am I not saying? Communications, please join us. Join us, please. Join us. Please, where is Tessie? Okay. So please, you can. Okay. Please let's give a round of applause at the center. Join us. I am trying as much as possible to not call you daddy on the microphone. It's not an easy thing to try and be 100% official. On behalf of Yali Network Abuja, we do not have much to give. We do not have the finance to invite someone who has various certificates from Harvard and Yale University. So the best we can give is a certificate of appreciation. And so we are presenting this to my deputy coordinator is joining. Thank you. So we are presenting this to appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. We sincerely appreciate it. And because I know you love writing so much, I decided to add one more narrative. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will have to say this publicly, even though he may not like me to, but please permit me to, please. He has just said that he's going to sponsor our program for the next 2 months.
Yali! Did you hear what he just said? Yali! We appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. And please a round of applause for our online audience. This place is packed, but there's still some people following online. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be moving to the next section very quickly. We have people of timber and what? Caliber in the house. And I'll be introducing them right now. And they'll be taking usually, wonderful. We usually have the breakouts, the panel sessions here, right? But we're doing something different this year. It's a new year, and we've set a new goal, and now we're about to meet it. So instead of having the usual sessions where our speakers are seated, we're going to have breakout sessions. So there'll be a session here. Everybody here remains seated here. Then as soon as I'm done introducing our guests, everybody here, please, you'll move a little bit outside to the lounge. We'll have our speakers talk to you there as well. Okay? Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. Okay, awesome. Moving on. All right, so we have leaders in different sectors, leaders of capacity, timber, and caliber, like I said, and we'll be starting with the ladies first. We have in the house a leadership development strategist, experienced curator, and the founder and president of the FOCN Leadership Academy, with over 10 years of experience in leadership, community building, and youth development. She's widely recognized for her work in shaping purpose-driven leaders and building systems that translate vision into sustainable action. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for the founder and president of the FOCN Leadership Academy, Princess Duru. Thank you very much for joining us. Then we also have with us the convener of Smart Nation, an author and a peace ambassador, focused on helping individuals and organizations design habits that sustain high performance beyond motivation. Her work centers on building disciplined systems that drive consistency, execution, and measurable results anchored on the pillars of self-worth, net worth, and network. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again for the convener of Smart Nation and author and the peace ambassador, Nancy Olisakwe. Thank you very much. We also have our gentlemen in the house. The first one is a distinguished leadership development expert and sustainable development strategist, dedicated to inspiring leaders to address global challenges. He's committed to nurturing effective change makers in the public sector. His dedication and over 8 years of experience in leadership development and social impact have earned him the reputation of being a mentor of leaders among the Nigerian youth. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, a round of applause, please, for the distinguished leader, development expert, and sustainable development strategist in the person of Samuel Isiru. Thank you so much, sir. And very lastly, we have a certified human capital development expert. The last time I was in a meeting and he was there, somebody told me, that's it, they mentioned the name, and it was like, if I was in the leadership and development space, and I did not know who he was or who he is, I have not started. Okay, he's a globally recognized youth development professional with over a decade of proven experience empowering Africa's young population. Renowned as a transformational speaker and social innovator, he brings cutting-edge strategies that drive measurable growth for individuals and organizations, equipping them to thrive in an ever-evolving marketplace. Young leaders in the house, a resounding round of applause for the certified human capital development expert in the person of Valentine Okafor, aka Val Okafor. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Okay, so now these people here, I'll be reading out the topics. Pardon me. I'll be reading out the topics that they are taking. Okay, so Mr. Samuel will be taking building personal execution systems. building personal execution system, and they'll be in the lounge outside. Then, right, I need to go through this properly. I do not want to mispronounce anybody's name. Then Nancy will be taking designing habits that sustain performance. She will be joining them in the lounges. What should be starting first? I was told, right? So, ma'am, please, if you would, and you too, sir, if you would please go with your team. Everybody here. Okay, so we have 25 minutes for this session. 25 persons, sorry. Okay, the communications lead have just told me that they want to have a group picture with all our special guests because some have some other engagements, especially most likely Right Honorable. Okay, he says he's here. So please let's have a group picture with all of you. Thank you very much. A round of applause for them, please. So while they're taking the pictures, 25 persons from here, starting from the front here, 25 persons, please let's rise, and there's a lounge outside prepared for you. You'll be having your speakers join you there shortly. Thank you. So for the people going outside, we're having Nancy Olisakwe and Samuel Isiwo outside. Those are the two people. I know some persons must have gone there like I usually do to meet and have specific persons talk to them. So if you want to, network with these persons, the lounge is the best place to do so. Then for our people here, we'll be having Princess, Duru, and Val Okafor in the hall here. And the topics being taken outside in the lounge are building personal execution systems and also designing habits that sustain performance. So that sounds like you. The lounge is where to be. Thank you very much. Please a round of applause for them and a round of applause for our leaders as well. So, wow, okay. Please one more time. China, they're taking the pictures again. All right. Thank you for your understanding. Please a round of applause for them once more. Then we'll have ladies first. So we'll have Princess Duru. She will take the first session in the hall here. And then we have 25 minutes for each session. 25 minutes for each session. Each person will speak 25 minutes. And immediately after her, Mr. Val Okafor will take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wasn't really sure what the setting was. I don't know if you mind that I see it. Thank you, sir. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you once again for inviting me Yali Network. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. A couple of years ago, a mentor of mine had introduced me to the Yali Network, and I was so excited to go on the platform, get a couple of courses, complete them, get a certification, and how I was so excited also to include that in my resume. And it's really, really an honor to be here. They have introduced me already. My name is Obianuju Pesedur, and I'm the founder and president FOC of Leadership Academy. Mr. Onofiong, Honorable Onofiong, has done so much. He's done justice to my topic, but I will obviously, just for emphasis, go over it again, and I want it to be very interactive. And over the next couple minutes, I really want to just share practical insights and lived experiences on my topic. So I've been tasked today to speak on a topic, structuring support that drives execution. And I would like to also define some terms. So define self-governance from my perspective. Self-governance, what is self-governance? The ability to lead yourself, the ability to do things that you say you would do, when you say you will do them with quality, consistently, because you have put together the structure that allows for execution, the structure that makes follow through inevitable. And I have a few points here to help guide my train of thought also. Um, so yes, structure. I want to define structure. And I want to define structure not as a building, not as a verb, as in this structure here. In the context of what we're talking about today, structure is the deliberate, intentional arrangement of number one. Honorable has already talked about it, clarity. Number one, clarity, then people, then systems, resources, decision rights, feedback that allows for execution to be possible. I'll take it again. Structure, the intentional, deliberate arrangement of number one, clarity. You have to understand exactly what you're trying to do. You in lived experiences in self-governance, structure answers one question. What has to be in place? What do I need to put in place to get my goals, my visions, my tasks achieved even when motivation is gone, when I don't feel motivated? That is what structure is, right? And I wrote here, pardon me. Structure is not tick boxes. Structure is not the Notion templates that we have, where we go and align all the tasks that we want to do. And then once I have delivered on the task, I go and tick that. That's not what structure is in this context. Structure is not the automated reminders, it's not the schedules, and it's not performing for people. Structure is how we execute with integrity when nobody is watching. That's number one. And what I've learned is that most people fail because it's not because they do not have the vision, not because they do not set goals, but because they have not put together the required structure that allows them to execute these goals. Right? Then I want to define support. What is support? Just like structure, support is also the deliberate arrangement of or any person, resource, constraints that helps us reduce the friction between intention and action. Support. Any person, any system, any resource that helps us reduce the friction between intention and action. And if we're talking in terms of mechanics, support is like wheels. It's like the engine oil you use to help you for the free flow of what you really want to achieve. Right. What must be in place for this thing to actually happen? I know talked about that. And then I talked about clarity being the first support structure. Clarity is the first support structure. If you don't understand what you're trying to do, you cannot achieve it. There's something that I carry along every time, and it's a word or a phrase from Dr. Miles Monroe that says, if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So if you do not know, if you don't have clarity, every other form of support you have, every other form of structure that you have will fail. You will misuse your time, your energy, your attention, scarce resources like your money. You will misuse it if you don't have clarity as to what you want to do. What do I want to accomplish? First of all, you have to be self-aware. You need to know, like the question that he asked, and he talked about how do you know what to share? How do you know when you're oversharing and things like that? If you have self-awareness, if you're self-aware, if you know your reality and where you want to go, and you have broken this down into visions and into tasks, into goals, you need to get an understanding of what done well is. This is done and done with this, and this is actually done excellently. Once you have that clarity, then every other form of support can take place, right? Many of us leaders, I wrote here, we want growth. We say that we want growth, but we have not defined what growth looks like to us. Because you can copy and paste another person's structure. You can take what another person is doing and say, okay, this is working for this person. You copy it and paste it without copying their context, without copying, because when Honorable was answering the question, he talked about what his realities were at the time and how he was able to follow through those realities, come to this particular place where he is right now, right? So if you understand exactly what you're trying to do, then you can achieve them. I'll give you an example. Last year in my organization, we had three programs. One was in Port Harcourt, where we had a mastermind program, and we had 70 participants in attendance for each of these. And we gave out smartphones, we gave out digital tools. We also had a 3 day free school boot camp, seeing like the various women traveling from various parts of Nigeria to Port Harcourt. I'm talking at least about 18 states down to Port Harcourt. We had a leadership conference of about 500 women in attendance, and some of our facilitators came across continents from Canada, from UK, traveled down to Nigeria, even in the security state where we say Nigeria is not safe at the moment. And the success of all these programs started from clarity. And I can tell you, I didn't have clarity when I started. In 2019, when I started the leadership program, it was just a beauty pageant brand. People ask me, why is it called Face of Terminality in Nigeria? Because we started as a beauty pageant. It was what I knew at the time. When I started, I wanted to bring a change in an industry where I thought women were being marginalized. This is the platform where women are supposed to be given a voice to speak, right? But then being a part of it, contesting over the years from secondary school to university till the national project that I won, I saw that women were put under financial pressure. Either you were made to have sex for the crown, or after the 1 year, you have low self-esteem because you think leadership is the crown and the sash. You think leadership is the position and the title that you have been given, right? So when I got the understanding that this structure that I have copied and pasted, because I'm trying to bring a change, I have a vision to give women this platform to excel without losing their integrity. But I've copied somebody else's structure. It's not working. It's still translating the same thing that I was seeing there. Because participants are coming in, they want to be a part of my organization, but they obviously have the same mindset. They don't care about my value. They don't care about the value that I was offering. They just wanted the crown, the sashes, the title, the glitz, and the glamour. So when I got understanding of what exactly I wanted to do, I needed to pivot. I needed to restructure. I needed to go back and say, listen, this structure is not working for me. This is my vision, and this is what I really want to achieve. So I broke it down, went back, had to obviously register again as a leadership academy and start all over from the beginning because of clarity. And since then, I can tell you we've been successful with how much the KPIs were put, not just the numbers, the people, the young women who have left our academy. We've seen the growth. We've seen how much they are beginning to transform, what their minds, their businesses, financially, socially, and spiritually. Okay. So yes. Please give me a minute. Sorry. Okay, so structure as people, resources, and constraints. When I defined structure, I said structure was the deliberate, intentional arrangement of number one, clarity, then people, resources, decision rights, feedback that allows for free flow of your execution of your intentions and your visions, right? Structure here is also not abstract. So when we say structure is clarity, That is the first support structure. Number two, people, people. I'm speaking from in terms of organization now, right? I know we're talking in the broader theme of self governance and goal setting, but people are also structure. People, people that obviously can mentor you, people that you can be accountable to, people that you can delegate to. People are a good support structure. Sometimes my alarm go off. Sometimes I set the goals, I set the reminders, I schedule on Google Calendar and everything. And I don't have the motivation to carry on. I give you an example. Last year, I lost my mom 2 weeks to a major project. And of course, you can say self governance, all the motivation. And in a time like that, losing someone very dear to you, how do you carry on? How do you go on? But because of the people who I had in my corner, people above, people by my side, people who were holding me, who were, motivating me, you can do it, go on. People who stood in place for me, then I was able to achieve the goals that I put in place. So people are a good support structure. Who is involved? Who are you accountable to? Who is accountable? Who has decision power when you're really not feeling motivated? Because I tell you, some days will come when you don't feel motivated. Some days will come when discipline may fail. So some days will come where you cannot go on even as much as you want to. Your body is so disconnected from your mind and your spirit. What and who is in place to carry on, to push you, to motivate you, and to step in and have those decision rights on your behalf, right? So not every leader has unlimited resources. Some of us, like myself, when I started, I didn't have the budget. I didn't have finances. I didn't have the money to put to get people on my team, to employ more people. But I had relationships. I understood relationships from the very beginning. I looked around me. Who is in my corner? In my mentorship, I have this mentorship portfolio. I looked around and I'm like, okay, I can reach out to this person and say, hello, sir, hello, ma, this is what I'm trying to do now, but this is the constraint that I have. Please, do you know anybody who can volunteer pro bonos, who can do this for me? And then they also taught me strategies on how to get people on the team. Obviously, trading favors, trading relationships. So that's also one thing, right? Some people do not have the financial resources to get in people, to pay staffs. You as a person, you can take on various responsibilities. You can try and learn. And I learned a lot from you today, sir. When you said you were learning a lot, you were trying to do a whole lot of other things. It wasn't like you were trying to delegate your you want to learn accounting because now you can still pay an accountant, but you're obviously going to learn accounting, right? So try and also develop yourself. It's also a very important structure when it comes to people. And structure is not about having everything. I wrote here, structure is about arranging what you have in the way that is profitable for you. So still talking about your realities, the things that you obviously can see. What are your realities today? Put together what you have in a way that it's beneficial for you, for your organization, for the people that you probably lead, right? What do you have in terms of organizational structure? What do you have? Use what you have and produce results with what you have. You cannot copy and paste someone's structure I wrote here without copying the content. And I'm re-emphasizing that again because the same access that I have is not the same access that you have. I don't know who the next person knows. I don't know how much resources the next person has. And so I cannot really copy what they are doing at the time that they're doing it without copying their context. Right? So effective leaders design structure based on reality, not based on someone else's playbook. So what is your reality today? Design your structure from top to bottom, your clarity around the things that you want to do. Design that around your reality. I want to say, for example, I want to plan a leadership conference for 1,500 women in 2026. Do I have the resources, financial resources to achieve this? Do I have the relationships to achieve this? Do I have the feedbacks? Have I gotten feedback obviously from the people who have attended my last session, my last leadership conferences, obviously over time to achieve this, right? If a driver only knows drive, I use this example. If you have a driver and your driver only knows drive, your driver comes to you every single day, enters the car, and you just say drive. He doesn't know where you're going. He doesn't know any destination. Then you cannot achieve anything. So in your structuring rather of people, make sure that they also have clarity of the vision. The vision, not just for yourself, but the people who work with you, right? The people you work with, the people around you, your mentors, make sure that you understand exactly what you're trying to do. That way, your driver knows that there's urgency. This person needs to be at the airport at 3 o'clock. So this person doesn't need to miss the flight. There's timing, there's alignment, everything will be in alignment because there's not just motion. We're trying to do this, okay, we've done this today, let's go and tick the box and all of that, right? So when leaders have a hot clarity, they also begin to hold pressure. When you hold clarity, the people who are around you, if you don't tell the next person, if I don't tell a Miss A, please, I'm trying to do this, Miss A will not know that there's pressure for this, there's priority for this. They will not be able to help you. People who are over there holding you accountable will not be able to prioritize for you, right? And then review your results and post result thinking. Um, yes. Execution does not end at results. It's one thing that I would like to state. Execution doesn't end at results. We say structuring support that drives execution. When you execute, make sure that you go back and evaluate your results. Even if it's a daily thing, a weekly thing, a monthly thing, a quarterly thing, go back and evaluate the things that I did today. Did I just do it because it's a skill? I did it and I have the skill to do it and it's repeatable. It's something that is scalable. Or it's just luck. It's something that I did out of luck. And out of luck, I was able to do this, right? What must change? What can you change? What can you put in place? Why did I win? And why did I not win today? Right? Sustainable leadership is not about winning once, it's also about building structures that can keep you competitive. Now, rest. I want to talk about rest. We never talk about rest as a structure. We always ask ourselves this question: have I put in the work enough to allow me to rest? Flip that. Have I rested enough to allow me to be productive today? Rest. Rest. Like, if you break down, the work is obviously going to stall. You will still not be able to achieve the goal if you break down. So take the time and rest. The first speaker he talked about having to go somewhere, shut down from the noise. He's also going inward. Then he can gain more clarity as to what he wants to do, as regards to what are his priorities, as regards to what done well looks like for him. So please take the time to rest. When you rest, you build the right support system, discipline becomes easier, and execution becomes consistent, and leadership becomes sustainable. I would finally like to say that for self-governance, there's a framework I always use. It's called the ACE model: accountability, clarity, and evaluation. For self-governance, accountability: who am I accountable to? Get a mentor. I keep learning. I reach out to people a lot. I call email people a lot, and I keep telling them this is what I'm trying to do. I don't try to hold my ideas. I don't try to hold my vision. I try to explain to them so that they can obviously support me where I need to. And I was talking to a lady yesterday. I just followed you on LinkedIn. And then when we spoke, I realized that a whole lot of the goals that I've set this year, they are goals that are supposed to be long-term goals for me. So now I'm accountable to her, and she has built a structure, obviously, where I can be reporting. She can say, okay, do this and then come back to me, do this and come back to me. We're not ever above learning. People have gone ahead of us, people have done these things, and so we can learn from them. Mentorship obviously helps to reduce the gap of your failures. It helps to propel you further because you learn from their successes, you learn from their failures as much, right? And then clarity again. What am I actually working on? What does progress look like weekly? The deadlines are the things that we put on those deadlines. Evaluation: how do we review progress? What feedback do I receive? And what gets adjusted? Okay, so before I close, I want to talk about 3 types of support. Accountability support: obviously, somebody who checks on your progress. Execution support: the tools Now, you can talk about tools, reminders, automated. You're not a machine. You can have a whole lot of things planned out. You already have your time, but if that alarm goes off, then you are reminded. Because sometimes in between, something may come that is more important than what you've already set for the day. We are not, there's this, I think it's a cliche that goes, I think it's a cliche, or maybe it's scripture in the Bible, correct me. Man proposes, God disposes. You make your plan. You have planned and you're correct, A to B, everything in order. But sometimes something comes that is more important and you just need to be flexible. Don't be rigid, right? So yes, execution support and feedback support, honest reviews, correction. Thank you very much.
Please a round of applause for her. Put your hands together. Thank you very much. And Princess Duru, thank you for that session. Please, if you have questions, write them down. I know you have. We'll quickly take Mr. Valentine Okafor for the session on tracking commitments and measuring progress. Please a round of applause for him. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Sorry, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So before I say anything, can we just once again put our hands together for Princess? Thank you, Princess. That was very fantastic. And everyone here, I appreciate you for your time. Thank you for coming. My journey with Yali started in 2017. That was the first time I heard of Young Africans Leadership Initiative in 2017. So I went ahead to take the courses on Yali Learn, did about 25. Then went ahead to become a Yali Fellow in 2020. So it feels so nostalgic to be back here to share from my experiences. My name is Baruka. For my job this morning is very simple, and it's to help remind us certain actions we need to take to measure progress or to turn intentions into tangible results. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on within the little time that I have. So, as human beings, that feeling you have to do something, the feeling you have to improve your environment, to uplift the next person by your side, it was put in you by God. You didn't think about it on your own. And that is what differentiates us from camels, monkeys, elephants, dogs. Because sociology taught us that human beings anthropologically came into existence through seasons of evolution and periods of evolution. But till today, we've not been able to see the baboon build duplexes and houses. Or the lion say, my hair is too much, I need to shave. Or the elephant saying, I need to attend classes like this because they don't have the mental capacity to think about improving themselves. It is only human beings that have the capacity to uplift their environment and to make their lives better. So whatever it is you're thinking, the goals that you have for yourself to improve yourself, it was designed by default from the factory by God Himself. So the fact that you are here and alive and you have ambitions, you have goals, you have dreams, it was given to you by God to make the world a better place, to uplift and to improve your environment. And that is what differentiates us from the lions, the wild, and the animals, because they don't have the capacity to think in that direction. Having said that, to consolidate this point, I don't know, maybe many of you have come in contact with Abraham Maslow's theory of human motivation. That's a social psychologist did that research in 1948, and he came up with that theory, the theory of human motivation, through what he called the hierarchy of needs. So if you look at the base, the physiological needs, food to eat, where to lie down, shelter, and all of those beautiful things, right? He said, for you to be able to achieve self-actualization, which is what we're talking about this morning, tangible results to make your life better, to improve your environment, you must start first of all from the needs. You have somewhere to lie down. You have something to eat. You have clothes to put on. Then when you have achieved that level, you move to the next, right? Which is security. When you have food, shelter, you start thinking about protecting yourself and those things you have, true or false. Then you move to love and belonging. That's where you can think about, oh, I need to love somebody and also be loved by someone. So that's love and belonging. Then you go to the next level, self-esteem. That's thinking of, self-worth, believing in who you are and your capacities as a person before you get to self-actualization. At that point when you can pat yourself and say, I have done something, you feel fulfilled when you're being able to add value to a system or to individuals. That's the peak on that hierarchy, and that's what every one of us here we're aiming to achieve, right? Where we can look back and see the businesses we've built, all the people that we've invested in through the solution blueprints we were able to create. So, ladies and gentlemen, for you to turn your intentions, I've just given you a background on intentions that is by default was given to you by your creator to add value to a system, to uplift and improve your environment and people around you. Now, to turn those intentions into results, something that we can see, something that is palpable enough for people to touch, there are certain things you need to do. Number one is to actually know what exactly do I want to do. And Princess has talked about clarity, but we cannot talk about it enough. Knowing exactly what to do. So we live in a generation, people actually do things based on what they see. So the internet has become like a springboard, a billboard of several activities. And because things are appearing to work for other people, then you copy and then you paste without asking yourself, am I really cut out for this thing? Is this something I can do very well? Do I have the capacity to do this? Do I get some form of satisfaction while doing this? Yes, you may end your life with what you love, but you can actually start with what actually gives you a result. But at the end of it, you want to be able to ask yourself, do I have fulfillment actually doing this? So that point of clarity is very important. For you to be able to turn intention into tangible results, you must know what am I cut out to do? What exactly am I adding to society? What do I want the world to know me for? What exactly, if you mention my name, then you can juxtapose it side by side with something. So that if we mention your name, like Google, you can think of Larry Page, Seki Green, Meta, Zuckerberg, Tesla, Elon, something like that. So if we call, for example, Farouk, say, oh, that amazing young man that has created a system that not just empowers people, but helps them to live out their potential. So that's where clarity is very important, to be able to find out what exactly I want to do. Secondly, to move from intention to tangible results. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. So to move from intention to clarity is to not just commit verbally, because we can talk too much, but behaviorally. I was telling a group 2 days ago, 31st night is an interesting night. It's an interesting night because you hear a lot of mind-blowing goals, mind-blowing vision, mind-blowing aspirations. I want to do this, new year, new me, new year, new friends, new year, new this. So there's a lot of talking. But the habits that will help you to achieve those things you talked about, zero. In fact, as we speak, this is 31st of January, I can assure you that more than 50% of the people who excitedly set those goals on 31st of December, they have gone back to square zero. I can tell you that. Because it was just verbally done and not behaviorally followed. So, number two is to be able to, beyond saying it verbally, the behaviors, the attitude must be built. What do I mean by this? I've said it in trainings that self-discipline is simply saying what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has left you. Let me take that again. Self-discipline is simply saying what you will do, doing what you will say, long after the mood, the excitement, the motivation you said it in has left you. So when we leave this room, you go back to your normal self. So right now, everybody is pumped up, and as I'm speaking, you're visualizing things, interesting things, and you're writing them down. But when the mood has left you, would you be able to do those things you said you would? That's self-discipline. Even Elon Musk said this, even when the odds are not in your favor, you still commit to doing it. Even when it's painful, you still commit to doing it. Even when sleep is disturbing you, or God, go and sleep now. You say, no. The goal said, I finish at least a chapter of a book today before going to bed. But your body wants to sleep. But the vision is saying you must accomplish this one chapter. So self-discipline is staying even when the body is saying sleep. That's how to move from intention to tangible results. I've talked about clarity, knowing what exactly. Number two, imbibing that the self-discipline to actually do that. Number three will be taking steps. Take steps, small, consistent steps. The world will never remember sayers, people that say a whole lot of things, because it doesn't take anything. You know what they say, talk is cheap. It's actually cheap. Anybody can say anything. But the world rewards doers, people who commit to do it. So take steps, small steps. I like how Honorable Lee put it. He talked about starting from where you are, right? Starting from where you are and using what you have. What you have may not be so much, but at that point in time, it can afford you some leverage to do certain things. So, taking small steps, I'll share with you a few experiences of mine. I grew up in Jos, and where I grew up in, people are naturally laid back, and this is without disrespect. People are naturally laid back, going, it's a civil service now, going to work maybe by 10, 11, and all of it. Not like Lagos where shops are open by 3 a.m. or 4. But over here, 11 a.m., people are still trying to stretch their bones. So, an environment that's naturally laid back. And then, particularly where I grew up in, able-bodied men there's nothing wrong with playing drafts. But there's everything wrong with playing drafts from morning till night. And then the women, the wives of these able-bodied men, will go to the field, fight bread, win bread, and bring bread back home and give to these guys. And from the morning she has made that day, he will now say, I take this one and feed the children. Now, sometimes these women will hawk watermelon, we hawk guava, we hawk mango. One in front, one at the back, struggling with one by the side. So there was nobody saying, young boy, what do you want to study? He wasn't in their frame of reference. They have not even discovered themselves, not to talk of another person. So I said, no, I have to create an ecosystem of possibilities by myself and escape, because you need to be healthy before you donate blood. And a drowning person cannot help another drowning person. So I needed to escape, first of all, from that environment so that I can come back and help as many as I could. I'm talking about taking small steps. So you see, first of all, it was a realization that nobody in my community at that time would help me. So I needed to create that ecosystem of possibilities. I started reading books from Cassin, from John Mason, from Norman Vincent Peale. I said, wow, their environment looked like mine, and they were able to achieve these great things. I can do the same. So I took that step to read those and created that ecosystem for myself. Number two, what I did was to apply to university outside my environment. I went to Enugu State, University of Nigeria, Enugu State. That was where I went, as far as Enugu State. I went there. Ladies and gentlemen, I took another step by volunteering. I think it was the president of volunteering or the group. Somebody mentioned volunteering. So I took that step because I wanted to be different. I wanted to come back and send the ladder down for these young people in this state to climb. So I needed to look different from them. Let me tell you something. Sometimes the interventions that we're looking for will come from diaspora. And some of you that are Christians here, Moses was in diaspora before helping those his brothers from Egypt. Daniel had to go to diaspora because you cannot solve a problem with the same mentality that created that problem. You need a superior mentality to be able to solve the problems. So I escaped. Now, one day during convocation week, I saw a woman by name Mrs. Mala. Mrs. Mala was speaking with so much authority, so much confidence. I said, this woman, she was just pacing on that stage, speaking. Already she was training Access Bank, Genesis Group, Kilimanjaro. Hey, where I was, I was like, this thing we do, one day I want to be able to hold the mic and share experiences that people can learn from. So she said, how many of you would like to speak like me? All the women in the house, they were me. Where I was just thinking, how would I be able to get the attention of this woman? So I went on Facebook. I hope you're following me. Oh, I'm talking about taking what? Small steps. So I went on Facebook. I typed her name. I saw her name. I followed her. Started following all her activities. Started commenting intentionally, not the one I see these days. Valuable, noted, powerful, deep. No, it wasn't those things. I would comment intentionally. So she started taking note of this guy's name. This guy is intentional with what he was doing. Right? So I started following her. One day we did an outreach at OP Junction, somewhere just a little bit far away from the town. She saw that post and now said, hello Val, where is this place? Guys, I was super excited. Imagine when your role model is commenting on your post. That was the feeling. I was super excited. I said, man, this place is this. Can you describe it for me? I said, yes. My number used to be public on Facebook then. She called me one day. I was reading. When I saw the name Noel Abuja, I jolted up from my reading table. I said, hello, man. I said, Val, I've gone through your Facebook post and I see that you're qualified for what you want to do in soccer. Can you do it? I said, yes, ma'am. I did not ask what. I just said yes because I saw somebody whose presence was my future. And I saw somebody whose floor was my ceiling at the time. And I saw somebody who has gone the route I was already thinking to apply. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Tomorrow became 2 months. Yeah, she called me in August. School was already wrapping up. She said, Val, we need to do a 150 leadership training for young people in Nsukka. I need you to coordinate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Nsukka is a village. The young people are still struggling to go to a conventional school, not to talk of a specialized training that will develop their character. It was an uphill task. So I said, yes, ma'am, I will crack this nut. So I wrote letters to churches, St. Peter's Cathedral, Christ Church, and the churches around that community. I went from door to door to knock. Hello, ma, your son needs to attend. And one man told me, see, how much can I prepare our children to attend? That was the first culture shock. Secondly, I hope people don't want to kidnap our children. In fact, one man told me leadership for this small boy. No, now, he has not grown. So his definition of leadership is when you are appointed a doctor, or maybe a minister, or maybe a president. Do you understand? So that was the things that I was confronted with. My madam was in Lekki issuing orders. You get a hall. I said, yes, ma'am. So I went to the local government, we got a hall. We need a projector. Yes, ma'am. I went there. She was not asking how in school, how is this. So already, why I'm sharing this is because now we have a lot of people who like convenience, comfort. You have to go the narrow way that leads to eternal life. Does that make sense? So she was presenting that narrow way. We need a speaker. I said, yes, ma'am. Guess what? The hardest thing was to get those children to participate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had 120 in attendance. Some of their parents tiptoed to come and hear what these children were being taught. At the end of the program, parents were jumping, children were jumping. They didn't want to go again because we taught them telephone etiquette, dining etiquette, we taught them leadership, we taught them values, we taught them how to say, They had never heard of this thing before. In 2019, I was in final year. My madam said, we are doing it again. I said, madam, I did final year, I have projects. I have 5 minutes, I'll get up on your visit. So I said, I have project. She said, wow, we've already started something in this town, let's finish it. In 2019, we did 240 children. 240. This time around, in partnership with the university. The university said, that thing you did, you want to be part of it. And they did. Guess what? That changed my entire mindset. When Mrs. Miller left, I personally reached out to over 1,000 children on my own in that community. I said, I'm going to leave this community the same way I left it. Now, the goal where I was seated was to do what Nwala is doing, right? Yeah, to be able to speak and do. By the grace of God, today I've been able to do that. Beyond the shores of our country, beyond the shores of Africa, by just holding the mic and sharing value. Remember, it was an intention in my mind. And I saw somebody who was living it in reality. And I took steps. So in taking steps, it's not going to be convenient. It's not going to be comfortable sometimes. People are going to step on your toes, but you need to swallow it because you know what you're looking for. If you remember Elisha's story, when he was looking for the mantle, the sons of the prophet said, oh, God, they worry you. Why are you following this man? He said, hold your peace. Because he had seen the future. He knew what he was looking for. He knew where he was going to. So the distractions from other people, from some of his friends, sometimes even our parents, out of care-driven leadership, can say, no, you're doing so much. Out of love. But that love stems from ignorance of the capacities you have. Because your parents are just vehicles that brought you to this world to fulfill God's agenda for your life. So they are caretakers, they don't have an idea of the things you have in total. So out of care, which stems from ignorance, your parents are also like, stop. Your friends, the same thing. Which day this one starts? You started motivating people, gathering people. Which day? My friend, look for something better to do with your life. Your associates can do the same thing because a man of vision is a madman until his vision is accomplished. He's like a guy digging the foundation for a skyscraper and the guy digging the foundation for a bungalow. They're two different things. This guy will finish first, but this guy is still digging. People who are passing will say, oh, yeah, now where they now go. But at the end of the day, when that skyscraper sits on that foundation, people will take out their phones and take pictures. And they will start in admiration to appreciate the effort which wasn't seen before. So in taking little steps, I'm just sharing with you realities that will happen. It happened to me, ladies and gentlemen. I know my time is up. It happened to me. Out of care, because I was so passionate in just from school to school, go gather children, train them. I was an education teacher, any 6K per month, so I was shared into two things are very cheap. A crate of Coke was $9.50. So we gather the children together, we give them drink. I was super happy. Even though I hadn't launched that day, I was excited because my dream was fulfilled. I was thinking beyond, the normal thing. The normal thing was go and get a job and work. If they ask you to get work, you say yes, I get work. No, I was thinking beyond that. I wanted to be a pipe through which water will flow. Guess what? A pipe does not beg to be wet. Just by staying in design, water will flow through you. If water flows through, it's a good place to clap. Join me. Okay. So, but as water flows through you, you see that you are wet already. So stay in design, people. Just stay in design. Don't compete for validation. Oh, I want to say that. No. Those things will come naturally for any person who remains there. Finally, sir, and thank you for the extra 1 minute. Finally, please look for somebody like I looked at you when I opened Federal Dormitory and the rest. Finally, look for somebody who has done what you're seeking to. In this life, there are witnesses. There are people who are succeeding at what you're looking for, and there are those who have succeeded at it. And Princess talked about this thing. It closes the trial and error gap, trying to do things and figure things by yourself. All you need to do is to copy and paste and make sure it aligns with your life's agenda. So identify people, systems, events that aligns with your vision, your passion, and then just put if you want to arrive at the destination of giants, put your legs in their footprints. And just keep going like that, you arrive there. So when people reach out to me and they say, come for one of my services include public speaking. So they're like, can you train me? It took me like 7 years of professional development and practice to be able to speak the way I do.
But now in 1 month, I can just take away the errors and the mistakes and say, do this thing I did, and your life will never remain the same. So ladies, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that my friend Emmanuel will say, I hope I've been able to bring impact and not to brainwash you. That to achieve that results, you just need clarity, self-discipline, mentorship, and then staying in design to get to the next level. And it's just a matter of time we'll reach the highest places possible. Thank you very much, everyone.
And please a round of applause for him.
Nancy or last or Nancy. And Mrs. Samuel joining us. Mrs. Samuel here. Please, as he's coming, please let's just give him a round of applause. Okay, he's here. Please let's celebrate Mrs. Samuel. Thank you very much. A very quick one before we share the certificate, we give out the certificate of appreciation. I would like to invite just one person that was in the lounge. Just one person, please just come out. If you were in the lounge, come out. If you were here, come out. One person, please. We don't have time. We have to leave it by one. One person, if you were in the lounge. Okay, I'll point someone. Come. One person from each session. Come. So you have the mic. In 1 minute, emphasis on 1 minute. Tell us what you learned from both speakers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, from her session, I was very happy because she has the kind of background I have. I started as a beauty pageant, as a model. So she talked about, good afternoon, everyone again. So from her session, she said her organization started as a beauty pageant organization. And I have such background also. I coordinate a beauty pageant. So she said one thing that struck me. She said when she started, there was no clarity. The clarity came as she went on. That's a very good one for me. Not oftentimes, I have been waiting for a certain level of clarity before moving from where the beauty pageant is to the next level. But now I get to know that oftentimes you don't have to get the clarity. You can get it as you go, and that's a very good one. Thank you so much. And then from Van Okafor's session, he talked about taking steps. Start where you are, which Panwell also talked about. Start where you are. As you go, the clarity that you need, you will get it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Emphasis on 1 minute, please.
So, all right. During Mrs. Nancy's session, she talked to us about the 12-week year. So the 12-week year, and which we have to build our life not from the 12 month year, but 12-week. And also she talked about the do it, UIT, talking about defining goals. And she also talked about the flow. That at the point in our lives we will have a place of the flow where we find out what we should maximize it. She also talked about the wheel of life, and in our session we really like it. In the second person session, that Mr. Samuel he told us about building systems for execution and told us how to speak out our goals when we talked about it. He also showed us example from himself, and he was joining and doing himself. I think and which is going to share to us. So he has told us to be confident, having courage as for Because you have confidence, you have courage, you're going to execute well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, if you learned anything from any of the sessions, please can you give this wonderful speaker a round of applause? You still want to say something? Can you make it a sentence? Is it possible to make it a sentence? Okay. Before that, please one sentence.
Okay, majorly, I learned about relationship and trading favors. What you cannot, what you don't have, you can trade to get it from another person. So build good relationship and trade favors.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So I heard her speaking about confusion, and I would like to share a short story before we share the certificate. I went to an event last year. I can't remember the place. And then during the panel session, they invited a businessman whom, according to his profile, you can actually know that he's doing very well. And they asked him a question. Please, can we have one house? Can we have one house, please? So the question was, how did you arrive here? And the man gave an answer I've never heard before in my life. He said, I arrived here confused. And everyone will know, normally you'll be shocked with that kind of response. And he said, yes, I'm serious, I arrived here confused. So the panel led was like, so we don't understand you. He said, from the first day I started the business, I was confused. Next 2 years, I was confused. In fact, as I'm speaking to you, there are some things still confusing me. But I ensure that I don't allow my confusion to stop me. So I'll always ensure that anything you are doing, don't say, oh, because I'm confused, I'll have to pause and seek clarity. You have the clarity daily as you are doing one thing or the other as pertaining to your goal. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we have certificates to give to our breakout session facilitators as an appreciation from Yali Network Abuja. I would like to invite all my executives to please join me in presenting this. First on our list is no other person than a brother, a friend that I respect so much, one who has shown consistency for the last 9 years, right from his days in the Federal University of Technology, where no other than Mr. Samuel. Please, let's celebrate. Please, all executives, please join me, please. Please, thank you. This was the programs officer. Thank you very much, sir. Please, the next name, please. Let's wait. Okay, I'll be inviting a very superb man, no other than Mr. Valentine Okafor. Please let's give a round of applause as he joins us. Okay. You know, when people say that they are public speakers, I'm always very careful because these days in Nigeria, if someone is not a CAO, the person would be a public speaker. But then when I heard her grab the microphone, I said, yes, that's the evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's celebrate Princess Nuru. And I would like to invite lastly a quiet room checker, no other than my leader Nancy Olisa. Please let's invite her. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, I'll hand over the mic to I'll hand over the mic at this point to the programs officer to make a few announcements before we invite the deputy coordinator for closing remarks. Thank you so much. I won't come to this mic again, so let me continue to thank you so much for coming out. I truly appreciate it. Please thank you, and once again, please celebrate yourselves. You are not clapping for yourself. If you learned anything today, except if you don't learn something today, but if you learned anything today, please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. If I come close to the mic, just go back. Oh, okay. They said I have one more task left. The introduction of all the extras. Let me just come and start there to us now. So please, this is the programs officer for this year. Damilola Mercy. Please a round of applause for her. Please, deputy coordinator, please come. That's come out. Please be clapping for her, she's coming out. This is Teresa Faruna, she's the deputy coordinator. And then we have on the Yali shirts, Abdul Malik Yaha, the secretary. Please just come out so they can see your face. We also have, please can you just dedicate it to someone? We also have the communications man, no other person than Mr. Michael, Selector Studios. We have, I call her Minister of Finance. She's no other than Joy Tomo. Please a round of applause for her. Assistant Secretary, please give it to someone. Welfare, give it to someone and come out. Please, very fast, very fast. Thank you very much. This is the Assistant Secretary. The person that has been disturbing you with mails upon mails, this is her. Deborah Nekun, please a round of applause for her. And then this is the welfare manager, no other person than Christabel. That food I promised you, I'm very responsible. Thank you so much. With a round of applause to everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Quick shots? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Another one? Okay. Thank you very much. So I'll hand over the microphone to the programs officer to make some important announcements. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you all, especially our distinguished speakers and facilitators, and also you all. You are all distinguished as well. But there are some special people who want to welcome here. Okay, two sets actually. Just signify by raising your hand. There are some special people that were invited. They're not a Yali member. They're not an incoming member. You were just invited and then you attended this event today. Can I see your hands up? Briefly, can you stand, please? We're just please let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate them. You're just invited and you are here to celebrate you. Thank you. Everybody here in this room. Please stand. Thank you, Chelsea. I remember your name. Thank you. So we believe that after this event, you will be willing to join Yali. So please, you can see me or any of the executives after the event if you want to join Yali. Thank you. Okay. I think the second set of people I would really want to recognize, can just raise your hands. Those on the incoming group, celebrate yourselves. Please stand up. Let me see you. Celebrate you. Some of you have carried out your yearly step already. Thank you for coming. We believe that after this event and some of our virtual events, you'll be inducted in the main group. All right. Thank you. Please, you can have your seat. Okay. So I just have an announcement to make. We are going to be having this event next month, February, face to face. It's going to be happening on the 28th of February. That's the last Saturday in February. Okay. All right. Okay, we appreciate our online audience. Thank you so much. So we're having this event next month, February 28th, and it's going to be something about your personal health, all about your health, your yourself, your well-being, holistic well-being. So I'm just giving you a tip of the iceberg. So please stay tuned. It's going to be more of physical activities. We're going to have some jogging. It's going to be 10 patient. Today we are all dressed corporate and looking serious. Next month we are going to ease and tell your neighbor it's going to be easy. So we look forward to see these beautiful faces next month as well. So stay tuned on our platform for updates, information, and all of that. And in March also we're going to be having another event about political engagement, political governance, and all of that. So please just stay locked on for information. We're also going to be having some video events to be shared on the link. We will be communicating to you on your email and all of that. So just follow us on our social media pages.
keep following on the group, and then you'll be updated and carried along. So we want to keep seeing these wonderful faces, want to keep seeing you attending, and want to keep, making impact together. Many of you have learned a lot of things today, and we're glad you came. Personally, I'm glad I came. I learned a lot. Yes. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to be handing over the mic back to the deputy coordinator for closing remarks. Thank you once again. I made your own self Damilola Mesu National Program Coordinator.
Hello everyone. Lovely to see your beautiful faces. My name is Teresa. So there's something about being in a space with beautiful minds. Just by sitting here, their energy rubs off on you, and we don't live here the same person. Except if you're a ghost, and there's no ghost here. So I'm sure that everybody is living here with something, and it's going to make impact if you are determined to make impact. I want to thank our past leaders for coming here. It's really not easy to take out time from your daily activities to come here and show up. And I really want to thank you. I want to thank Engineer Unisa. I want to thank Mr. Bolu, Miss Gloria, Miss China. I see all of you, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you for showing up. And I want to thank everybody for being here. These beautiful faces, I love the energy. Thank you so much for being here. With that being said, we've come to the end of today's face-to-face on goal setting and goal achievement. Please, the next time you come here, it should be better than how you came here today. Thank you so much. We're going to have a photo session.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, young leaders in the house. All right, a round of applause for our guests still seated in the house. Please, a round of applause for them. Where is the energy? A round of applause for them as we rearrange the venue for our photos. And then a round of applause for yourself as well. You know what, clap for yourself. Okay, so a round of applause for those ones joining us online as well. We're closing the live stream now. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We look forward to seeing you again next month. All right, bye for now from all of us at the Impact Hub. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us rise on our feet. Rise on your feet. Rise on your feet. We'll say just like I'm going to